From Miss It, Miss Out show, where we'll have 4 hours of jam-packed deals, including clearance offers, end of line, last in stock and low prices. The Miss It, Miss Out show, only on Jewellery Maker.
You can now keep in touch by following Jewellery Maker on Twitter. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Do you need a helping hand to get started with Jewellery Maker? Are you stuck for ideas and need inspiration? Then visit our Jewellery Maker website, where you can find our video tutorials. Expand your knowledge and skills with these easy-to-follow jewellery making demonstrations. Whether you're a beginner, hobbyist, or business owner, there's always something new to learn. It couldn't be easier. Simply click and learn some new jewellery making techniques. Jewellery Maker course gift vouchers are now available. You can choose from a bronze, silver, or gold voucher. Each voucher is worth a different amount that entitles you to put towards a course of your choice. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
You can now keep in touch by liking Jewellery Maker UK on Facebook. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Join us on Jewellery Maker as we count down the days until Christmas. Stay tuned to see perfect Christmas gifts for all your friends and family at prices you won't believe. And what's more, anything you buy can be refunded or exchanged until the 31st of January. So for hassle-free shopping and great value, it has to be Jewellery Maker.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Hi and welcome to the Designer Inspiration Show with myself, Fifi, and the gorgeous Sara Elvin. Good afternoon, my darling.
Hello.
Do you know your signature, your beautiful lotus blossom flower there?
I know.
You're fantastic. The lovely gerbera in your hair.
I did try for a few weeks without it. And
No, we don't know who you are when you do that.
No.
You know, if we lost you, we could find you. The lady with the flower, the gerbera.
I know. I think there's a lady spotted me on holiday, a lovely lady called Andrea, and she spotted me on holiday, and I heard my name across the restaurant. I'm thinking, who's shouting my name? And I turned around, she said, oh, I know you off the telly.
Oh my goodness! Do you know that happened to me with a pair of plaits? I did a tour of Germany, and I used to wear my hair in plaits because I had to be like young. And I was in Stratford, and this German woman was walking down the road, and she said, and I'd visited her school. She was a teacher.
Oh,
she was over in Stratta's visit. I know, because of the plaits. It's
Oh,
amazing, isn't it, what people remember?
Yes.
Anyway, hello. How can we make today memorable for you? Well, look at both of these memorable designs with the Sari silk and the bracelets. Sara's designs are absolutely inspirational. Look at those. We'll be learning how to bead with the Sari silk, how to wrap and twine, you know, gorgeous designs. We've got some extra Sari silk for you there as well. Sara's only used a fraction of the gemstones and the silk itself, and her handy tip, she'll tell you what the handy tip is with the Sari. She's got loads left over. She could literally, what we should try is mummify me one day, and you could just wrap it around me and just see how far it goes.
We probably could be what's left over.
Exactly, I really do think we could. So, we're also going to be could I feast your eyes, because it's such an exciting show today. There's these beautiful bead cabochon settings. Is that right? Yes. I sort of did it a bit backwards, forwards, a bit like Yoda when I said it right. So we'll be learning how to do this, and we'll also be learning how to do this. It's almost like a lovely intricate netting weave around the bead cabochon setting. Isn't that beautiful? I've got so many goodies in today's show. Oh, hello, gorgeous. And that's just you. Look at this. Look at the beautifulness. Oh, get over. There's too much there to show you. Alrighty. And I know how much my producer loves green, but that's a surprise for him later on, because I've got some green for you, Pip. Young man. Only Ryan knows. Alrighty. So this is our designer inspiration with our texture design. Ta-da! And what Sara used was her absolute favourite gemstone, the amethyst. Sara, why is it your absolute favourite gemstone? Because I've got 3 strands that we gave you, darling.
It's the fact, it's the colour. I love purple.
Love the purple.
Yes, but also it's the fact of the range of colour and the different types of tone you get and the different structure you seem to get within it, whether it's a dog-toothed amethyst or whether it's a Rose de France amethyst, that baby blush purple, right through to your chocolate box purple, right at the other end, almost to, you know, the deepness of the agate that's there. It's almost, amethyst almost goes right to that deepness. And I love all of that tonality. And I love the way that, you know, if you get a plain round and you put it next to a faceted round, the light play is just completely different from the two. And it's just a happy gemstone. It makes me feel happy when I work with it. It draws you in, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. And I was having a conversation with Laura saying certain gemstones make your designs work better somehow. Yes. Yeah. Ones that you're drawn to make you. The journey's easier, isn't it? It is. You have a little bit more creativity with them. Yeah. They speak to you more. They do. They do. So let's speak to you about the amethyst. As you can see, it's already speaking to you in the wonderful shapes that Laura was just describing, and that's exactly. Sorry, Laura. Sarah was just describing. Here we go. Look at these. Now that crackle input in those gorgeous rice bead shapes, graduated 480 carats. You get the light behind them and they just sparkle. Your jewellery is going to sparkle and your designs are going to leap out at you, I promise you that. Then a fantastic, and this is almost like the sage amethyst, you know, the heather colours, the purples, the lilacs, all those lovely colours there that Sarah described. You've got it all in these three strands. It's much, much more than just purple. And this is my sage faceted round. So I'm thinking Heathcliff, I'm thinking Kathy, I'm thinking up on the moors there, 150 carats, 8mm round. So look at the sparkle there. And then we've got the interplay of exciting shapes and edgy nuggets there that really catch our eye because they're faceted on the surfaces as well. We're getting great light luster on the gems themselves. So this is 435 carats of those spectacular nuggets. So in total, we're over 1,000 carats just from these three strands alone in the amethyst family. Woohoo! Then, oh, pretty in pink, you betcha. This is the pink Sari silk, but there's coral golds in there, there's bronzes in there, there's very bright cerise pink, there's mauves, there's purples. Once you start to unwind it, we'll look closer with Sarah, there's a whole myriad of colours in there anyway in this gorgeous designer kit. So this is my cerise Sari ribbon, 100 grams, honest to God, goodness, it goes on and on and on. Then also we've got the purple wax cord, 10 meters. Now this is wax, so it's very good at threading through. That waxy texture holds it firm, keeps its shape, keeps the knots, and allows that journey through your gemstones to be nice and smooth. And then we've also got the gold-coloured copper wire. Now just look at the effect of that gold-coloured copper wire, which we're going to use in creating our Sari beads as well. But look at the wrapping around the bracelet and for your findings as well. Just look how much it stands out. And this wire is 0.6, 10 meters. So great versatility there for Sarah, as she found out and used to great extent in the kit. Now we've got big savings for you. The gold coloured wire there, 0.6. Big savings. We will be exploring with Sarah her designs. Now you won't be surprised to hear that this fantastic kit should be over £40. Quite frankly, I'm just looking at these 4 designs and thinking I'd get my £40 back on just these 4 designs minimum. And she had loads left over, as Sarah will confirm. But we're not going to go £40. We want you to try the Sari silk. As Jenny was just saying, you've opened up your basket this morning with, you know, Jenny and Liz. We want you to explore those other textures. And Sarah said herself, you know, there's a lot of those lovely sort of cowl knits and those scarves, and they're worn a lot now instead of jewellery, aren't they? The cowly kind. I've got a couple myself. Mine's like looks like a big bit of lace actually. Yes. And you can create it yourself with a Sari silk, and it's just over the jumper instead of jewellery necessarily. You can, and it keeps you warm as well. You know, if you wanted to, you can make removable charms, removable pendants, so then you can really dress it up. You can have it just as an everyday piece if you're just wanting to have something around your neckline. But then if you're maybe going out and you're going to an evening do where you might be outside, where you want something that might just, you know, hug that neckline, but also give you a little bit of jewellery, a little bit of, you know, up a bit like so. Sort of zhuzh up the outfit for you a little bit. You can then do that with that piece.
And I love that, because that's exactly what, you know, you've just added the one for just to show you, but we could, like you said, you can zhuzh it up, we can extenuate that. Yeah. Beautiful. Let me just show you that there. There we go. Right, so we're not going to go to £40. We'll be showing you how to do that lovely knit there. We are not even going to go to £30. What are you talking about? Well, it's my last 2 crazy days. Well, not forever, but just to go off before I go off slapping me thigh. So we're not even going to go 40. We're not even going to go 30. We want you to get involved with Sara. We do indeed. $29.95. Should be over £40. Big, great savings, whether you want to use these all together or separately, but we want you to be inspired because the designs are inspiring. Absolutely gorgeous. And we've got, don't forget as well, we've got the other Sari silks coming up as well. We've bundled these, so we'll introduce you these so you can mix and match. There's no reason why, you know, we can't have all those tones. You can see they are slightly different. Love this. I mean, this is the colour of the sky. This is me, my mermaid colours there. I've got some lovely lavender amethyst coming up, some gorgeous, I'm thinking imperial topaz. I've got some gorgeous sort of green cultured pearls as well. I mean, just look at these. I'm just gonna be naughty now. I'm just gonna grab the sensuality I've got coming out of my box. Oh, I know, we'll never get these back in the right box, will we? But I know what they are. Just look how we can mix. Oh, Sarah.
I know.
We used to just go home now, darling, and make jewellery.
I do.
Do you know what I mean? I've got such beautiful gemstones coming up on the show that will just mix and match perfectly. So let's go and see Sara. Let's get started with Sara and get these designs that are flowing. I'm going to take these with. I'm not leaving these behind.
Oh, good.
No way, Jose. Do you need anything of my? Oh, I'm going to bring me Sari's. I'm just going to bring it all, quite frankly.
Okay.
Yes, we want to know what's what.
Yes.
We want to have everything at our disposal. We don't want to be left with nothing behind on the other desk. I want to see it all. I want it all. There we go.
Fantastic.
Gorge.
I know.
How much? Look at your bundle.
I know, this is my original bundle that's still here.
Look how much? It's like
and I've still
bigger than a tennis ball.
I've taken from a demo already as well off there.
Yeah, and we've still made all these pieces.
I made all those pieces.
So it really does, go on and on, doesn't it?
It does. And it's just, you know, and I've been really heavy with it, you know, and you can
not
be
sparing,
so.
yeah.
No, you don't need to be, because you get so much on a skin or whatever way that they say that these are. You get so much on there. I couldn't believe it when I took mine off and actually rolled it up. My ball was probably about the same size as my Kumihimo disc. It was really big.
And
so
that was your tip, wasn't it, to roll it into a ball?
Yes.
Why is that then?
They come and they're knotted and twisted. And when you untwist them, you end up with, you know, when your nan used to get you to wind wool around your arms,
Yes.
and she used to wind it into a ball?
Yes.
It's exactly the same. It's in a long oval wrapped loop.
Right.
So what you need is a small child or a dining room chair. And you can then put your long loop over that and then wind it into a ball. If you don't do that, if you can keep it flat and just take yours out as you want, but I found winding it into a ball was a really easy way to be able to keep it neat and tidy.
And also by having done that, you'll see all those beautiful colours in there.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. We've got all the right stuff today, didn't we?
I know. I
Pinky and the blue.
I toned in perfectly for it.
I was like, what are you wearing this morning?
Okay, so which technique would you like to go for first?
Well, I'm dying to see, because I've not seen it, the actual making a bead out of the Sari.
Fine. That's absolutely fine. Right, okay. This little idea came to me because I had the wire in the kit, and I thought, well, what you can do with fabric wire, you can probably do with fabric, as long as you have something to mould it onto and to knot it back into place. So what I did was I took my gizmo, and if you haven't got one of these, I think most jewellery makers have got one, whether it be the deluxe one or the normal one.
We're gonna bring one on screen for you now.
Perfect.
So if anybody hasn't, this is one we're going to bring on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
We'll bring up a gizmo for you, because I know, like you said, we do the deluxe or the...
Yes.
What's the difference then?
The deluxe is the number of mandrels you get, which basically gives you the depth and size of your coil. So the larger the mandrel, the larger the coil, the larger the diameter of the coil.
Gotcha.
And also the deluxe one has an inbuilt clamp.
Right.
Whereas the normal one doesn't have the inbuilt clamp, but you can get a clamp from a DIY shop or something like that. Or a lot of people hold them just in their hands.
Marvellous. Well, we've got the normal one at the bottom of the screen because we don't have the deluxe in stock yet, but we will be getting it back in stock. So here's just another example of the beady bead. It's at the bottom of the screen there, the $4.95, the wire coiling gizmo. That's the normal one. So I don't want you to feel like you can't get started if you just... the basic one's great to start with, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely perfect. And I'm only going to use the same size rods that you will get in your basic one. So you know, it doesn't really matter. If you want to make a bigger diameter. Oh dear. It's not
Go round and round,
not enough sleep
25.
and too much traffic. You would use a larger coil, but you can do that by adding more sari silk as well. So it really is very versatile.
Yeah.
So all I've done is I've wrapped. I've got about a length of wire, probably a little bit too long, but it's about 1 metre. So, and all I'm going to do is make a little base coil. So I've got my wire wrapped around the U-shaped bit, the upside down U-shaped bit, and that anchors it so it doesn't, you know, go round and round. And I'm just going to make a little coil. And you don't have to be neat because this is not going to be seen. So don't
Look how
panic.
quick and easy that is.
Yeah. And I don't need a huge coil by any means, because I can. If you want to scrimp on your wire at this point, you can actually pull this coil out. So
Don't scrimp at Jewellery
well,
Maker.
do you know what? Because I got towards the end of my kit and I'd used so much wire, I'd actually nearly used all my wire
Oh,
up.
there you go.
And I found that I could be really cheeky and save a little bit by doing this. Just pull it out.
And it still looks just as beautiful, doesn't it?
Well, you won't see that. And this, the length of this is going to be the size of your bead. So the longer you make this, stretch out this coil, the longer your bead's going to be. Okay, so we'll go for quite a decent sized bead for this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sari silk. You don't need a huge amount. And don't worry if it's got a knot or a sewing point in it. It gives texture and it allows you to have, I don't know, just more interest really.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take a length. You don't need a huge amount for a bead by any means. And this is a great way of, if you've made something and you've got some little lengths left over, keep those because you make your beads out of them. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to catch that end and I'm going to wrap it around. I'm literally going to wrap it around my gizmo, like so. You see, I'm just literally wrapping it around. Just keep pulling it and wrapping it. And because I haven't anchored it, I can't use the handle, but I can just turn it around. And it doesn't take long, as you can see. And you might want to do more wraps in the middle. That'll give you more depth to your bead, and less towards the ends, and that will make them narrower.
So this is the core.
Yeah, this is going to be.
So essentially, if we had some other wire, that we.
It could be any colour.
Yeah, right, yes. And
It
then
could
if we
be-
want to use, save our gold for on top, for instance.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got, I've got some wire that I got before I started at Jewellery Maker, and it's like floristry wire. It's a really
Right.
sort of dirty, rusty colour.
Yeah.
And I don't like it at all, but it'd be great
But
for a dinner.
perfect for, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I've done is I'm just literally, as you can see, I've got sort of a narrower and a wider bead in the middle, and I'm just going to leave that end for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take another length of wire. I'm going to save that bit. So if you ever do that, just save your bits. I want probably about a yard, if that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to release this end off. So I've taken that little piece off because I don't need that anymore, and I want this to be able to move up and down a little bit. And I'm just going to anchor this new piece of wire around my handle, and I'm literally just going to make a little coil at the end. And this bit you will see, so this little coil here, if I move it, can you see?
Right, yes, yeah.
This little coil you will see, you won't see the end bit because I'm going to chop that off, but this little coil will be the very tip of your bead, and you will see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to wrap.
Taking it into the sari.
I'm going to start to wrap it around the bead, and now I've captured that, a tail, I can now cut my little tail off because I've caught it with my wire, so I can get rid of that.
You fixed it, yeah.
Yes, I've fixed it in, and then I can go round and round with my little handle, and then I'm going to make another little coil at this end. And that's going to be the end of my bead.
Sure.
And then I'm just going to come back.
And you've got all the rest to play with then, don't you?
And you can see that I've got some little tufty bits.
Tufties, yeah.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is where I've got a tufty bit, I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to just go across it, and if I've got another one there, I'm just going to catch it each time I'm coming across with my wire. And you can see that those tufts have now disappeared.
If you didn't have the gizmo, Sarah, could you do it freehand?
You could do
in a
this
way?
freehand, yeah. I mean,
If
if
you've
you've
got
got
a shape to work around, maybe.
yeah, something like a knitting needle.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. You'd be able to wrap your wire around just to make that centre bit,
Yeah.
and then you'd be able to wrap this around by hand, and that would be fine. So as you can see, and literally that's all you're going to do. And I'm going to come to this end, and I'm just going to anchor
It's like a little
off.
cocoon, isn't it?
It is a bit, and I thought, do you know, you sometimes see things, and it looks a bit like, you know, when natural raw silk comes out of those little cocoons off the silk
Silkworms.
Silkworms. So I'm just going to cut my tails off, because I don't need those. If you want, you can make a little spiral on those. It's absolutely not a problem. And then I'm just going to take this, and if I can find my end, and try not to put that underneath your fingernail like I just did. And then you're just going to cut that off.
Now, do we need to do anything with those ends? Tuck them in or file them? Or
What I would do is with my flat nose pliers, you just squish them over.
Squish them into the silk,
just squish them down so there's nothing sticking out.
Right.
But because we're going to put a coil wire through as well, we're going to make a coil at either end to attach this bead. So now here's the magic. If I hadn't put a coil inside the bead, when I take it off the gizmo rod, the silk would collapse, the Sari silk was collapsed back in on itself, and I'd have nowhere to thread it.
Gotcha.
So that will give me somewhere to actually thread my bead, but I can just pull that straight off.
I was just thinking they would make beautiful Christmas decorations on a bigger scale.
Yeah, you could do them really big.
Oh, they'd be gorgeous.
And if you had something like clear quartz, some little clear quartz, and you could put those on with your wire, and they would really catch the light, twinkling in the tree.
Oh yeah, because you could have the beads and the wire going around. Beautiful.
Yeah. And so
beautiful.
That little bit of wire I said don't throw away is now going to allow us to make this into a proper bead. Now, if you've got any little bits like that, either you can fray them, just by getting something like your bead reamer and fraying it out. You can fray them and they look really rustic that way.
Yeah.
Or you can just snip it off if you don't want it. I quite like it. Leave it there.
I quite like it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, so I can attach this, I can either, if I was using beading thread, I could just put my beading thread straight through it. I'll just show you that my wire will go straight through, as would a piece of beading thread. But on this necklace, what I did was just make a little wrapped loop at either end.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's in your starting booklet. I mean, I'll just quickly show you if there's anybody brand new out watching thinking, hang on a minute. You just take a piece of wire into your round nose pliers, choose how big a loop you'd like by positioning it on the pliers. The further up you go, the larger the loop, the lower down, the smaller the loop. Push your wire away from you. Then turn your pliers 90 degrees upwards and then bring the wire all the way over the top. And what I do is I always turn it, so if I get my wires that way, can you see, if I put my hand behind it, I've got those wires sitting at 90 degrees to each other. That will mean that when you go to wrap that loop, your wires will be neat and tidy, because a lot of people say, oh, I'll get my loops a bit skew-whiff, or my loop ends up being an oval instead of a round. And then you just bring that wire round in the right direction and just literally make a couple of wraps, and because this is 0.6, it's very easy to get lovely neat wraps. Now if you want to, you can keep that end off and make a little spiral, which is what I did.
Yes, I was just noticing that. If I should show everybody at home, you had a pretty little spiral there.
Yeah, I don't like cutting little bits of wire off. I don't know what it is. And then you would just put your wire through your bead all the way through. Oop. So it comes out the other end, and do exactly the same on the other end, and that would create you a bead that you could then loop onto whatever you want to do.
Yeah, attached to wherever, really.
Yeah, so that's bead
gorgeous.
number one.
Feed number one. I'll just stop and just say, if anybody's got any texts as well, you'd want to ask Sara directly, please text into 60777. Text messaging service, normal network charges apply. Start your message, James Studio, especially if it's to do with your Sari silk or the wire wrapping or anything Jewellery Maker related. We'd love to hear from you today, because this show is about you and what you want to see and what you want to know about in your designs. And do let us know what you want to see as well, because obviously we want to build it around how we can help you as a Jewellery Maker store. So we've done that one.
Yes.
So now we're excited to do the donut shape as well.
One, yeah.
So let's have a little look.
It was really lovely when I was working with the silk that accidentally, I didn't plan it, that the round bead ended up being a completely different colour to
Hasn't it? Let me just get those close
well,
together.
Actually, all
and you
three
can see.
beads are completely different colours, different tones. But I just love the fact
And it's
that
not a new Sari silk bundle. It's just
as you can see, if I show you on mine. You can
the range,
I have lots of different tones, and that's just on the bit you can see. So you can see the bits underneath are brighter, and then I've got this really sort of almost a bluey purple, and then I've got a more sort of aubergine-esque coming through there.
Gorgeous.
And that's just depending on which piece of Sari silk you use.
And we've got our other saris to bring to you as well, our other little bundles. We'll get you those shortly.
Okay,
but,
so to make the round Sari silk bead, I just took my ring mandrel. If you haven't got one of these, anything that's round, like a large pen, you know, like a marker pen, or anything like that.
An old spool from a cotton reel or something.
If you've got a shot glass, something, anything that's sort of that sort
shot
of
glass.
Shot glass, yeah. We've got them in our house.
Anything. Breakfast.
Yeah, and again, experiment, because whatever size you make this, and don't forget that the size you make the core of the bead will get larger because you're going to wrap the silk around it, so it will expand. So don't go for something massive unless you want a real feature.
Unless you do need decoration,
yeah, unless you want a feature. So I'm going to take quite a large, I'm going up to my Z on my ring mandrel, and I'm just going to literally wrap my wire around a couple of times. And this is all I want to do, is just to make a base. So there we go. Same as if you were making a ring, you just keep wrapping your wire around whatever particular size you want. And I'm just going to take that off, and that is as much as I need the ring mandrel for until I come to reshape it in a second. Then I'm going to take one of my tails through, and you don't need to be neat. Don't panic, this is not going to be seen. This is what I love about this stuff. You can, all the base stuff, if you're not a great wire worker, you know, you're new to wire working and you're a little bit scared of the medium maybe, you won't see any of this.
And I guess I mean, we include the 0.6 in the kit, but a more firmer, thicker gauge, 0.8 to 1 millimeter, you know, probably use less, and you know, same job done.
Same job, yeah. Little harder on the fingers to wrap it around, but
that's true.
And all I've done is literally gone all the way around, created quite a nice little piece,
pretty,
actually. I quite like that. You know, I would, you know, and hang gems off there or do whatever you like with it. So I'm just going to cut those little tails off because they're going to be hidden inside. What I might do is just keep this longer tail, and I'll show you why. I've just had a little thought. I'm going to use my piece of Sari silk, and this is a leftover piece from doing the other bead. And I'm just going to pop it on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my wire over the top of it and anchor it before I cut that wire off. So
we've just put I believe it's the plastic multi-wire mandrel, the one that's rounded and square. We've just put that at the bottom of the screen there as well, if you haven't got one of the mandrels at home. $2.95, and you're not adding another postage and packaging tag to your orders. So they're absolutely, you can't just be without it, can you? They're just
that one's absolutely ideal because you've got a larger size round and ovals and triangles and I think squares on there as well.
Yes, the squares.
So you can do square beads and all sorts. So an absolutely valuable tool. I have one of those as well. So I've just literally secured with that bit of wire my first little piece of Sari silk on there. So I don't have to hold that now. And then all I'm going to do is take it over and take it through. Take it over and take it through, and you're literally just going to wrap it around the bead. It's not too difficult, is it? I like things that aren't difficult and you can do while you're watching the TV. You could sit and have a little bit of a production line of these going while watching the TV, and then before you know it, you'll have made a tray full of them, and then you're ready to start making a necklace.
Exactly.
If you
They'd be nice as creating a kind of a chain of them, a few links together, wouldn't they?
You could, and what you could do is you could link these before you wrap them in the Sari silk, and then wrap it, and then you have them linked together as a fabric chain.
Link. Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
So you could do that as well. A little bit more fiddly, but definitely doable.
Just shows you how versatile it is, though. That's the point, isn't it?
It is. And I love the fact that once you wire wrap these, any little bits that, you know, of the nature of the material, get the odd stray thread here and there, and don't worry about it. Okay, so I've just literally gone round, and I'm just going to, with my trusty fabric scissors, turn that end off. That's the only thing I probably need to add to this kit is a pair of scissors.
I'm sure our gorgeous jewellery makers at home have got some scissors in the drawer somewhere.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that down. Again, another length of wire. It doesn't need to be a huge length by any means. This is probably only half a yard, if that. And again, I always like to take more because I don't like to add if I can help it. So what I'm going to do is take my Sari silk's going up and over this way. So it's going through the loop and then over to the top. So what I want to do is take my wire through the same direction. I'm just going to take my tail through first and just anchor that through first. It's a bit fiddly on fingers. So my tail's now through, and I've just anchored it and got it under my fingers. So there's my tail. The reason I like to just have a little tail is I can hold on to it, and B, I can make a little loop out of that in a second. So I'm just going to make it just a tiny weeny bit bigger. There we go. And all I'm going to do with this wire, again, same as the sari silk, and I'm going in actually the same direction as I did with the silk, is just take it around and wrap it. And this is going to anchor all of this sari silk. My top tip for you is if you find it difficult to get your wire through, if you just take your finger on the top and push it, you'll get a little loop come through for you to grab.
Yeah.
It makes life a little easier. If you're trying to poke the tail through all the time, it can get a little bit fiddly. So just quickly do that. I'm just going to wrap my tail back round. It's decided it's coming undone.
Now I can say we're getting very limited. I've got less than 40 in stock, so it's proved amazingly popular. It's 2/3 of the stock gone because I started out with 120. So I've got just 40, about 40 left. So please don't miss out. We are going to bring you the other sari silk colours as well, but that's just the sari silk so that you can just add to your sari bundle. So there's less than 40 of these gorgeous designer inspired kits remaining. So remember, it should be over £40, so big savings.
Right, so
back to our bead.
Okay, I've gone all the way around and I've got back to my starting place. Now, if I wanted to do it exactly the same as I've done the one there, I could just go all the way around until I'm at the 180 degrees or opposites to itself. I'm going to jazz it up a little bit. I'm always liking to give people at home a little bit more. So you can add some beads across the centre of it.
And those beautiful amethyst beads that are in the kit.
Why not? I've got so many of them.
Oh,
so I've literally just popped 2 straight across the middle.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, there we
That's
are.
gorgeous.
And then all I'm going to do is again take my thread, my wire. It is almost like having beading thread. It's so malleable, this 0.6 wire.
I want to make a big Christmas wreath now.
Yes, you could.
Out of my sari silk.
Oh,
that'd be stunning. And there's so much,
Loads of
the
bows.
greens and the pinks, the gold and the green there. Oh. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my connectors now for this.
Right.
So I've now got a wire hanging out of each side identically, and all I'm going to do is make a little wrapped loop again. So wire away from me, twist my pliers over the top and make a little loop, and then I'm just going to anchor that back by going through and then just go round the actual where I've just made the loop,
Yeah.
and then back through in the opposite direction, just because that gives that a little bit more strength. It's not wobbling around in midair now.
Yes.
And I would do exactly the same on the opposite side, and that would give me the round beads.
And I noticed you do that earlier on while there's a good bit left, because then you just wind.
Yes, you can,
So
I mean, this piece,
you've got enough to make the link.
yeah. So I've got a piece here from where I started. I made it a little bit longer, so I've got that excess. That's my starting tail, if you like.
Yeah.
And that way I'm not having to make one and then go halfway around again, and it just
Yeah.
makes it's just quicker.
It's done.
It's quicker. I'm all for quick and speed and efficiency.
Yeah.
When you've got, when you're making jewellery for Christmas sales and Christmas
Yes.
presents, it's about getting it at this time of year, getting everything finished really, because it's very busy
of
time.
course. Yeah.
So that's the 2 beads made.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do though is introduce another set of sari silk. Shall we introduce another colour, sweetie pie? Get it up on the screen anyway while we show another demonstration technique.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a pomegranate and sunshine, that gorgeous gold. So here are the colours, and then we're going to look at another demonstration technique from Sara. While we'll get both, we'll get the kit on the screen, and we'll get these new ones on the screen as well. So the sunshine golds. I mean, what sort of gemstone colours would you put with those? Just off the top of your head there, Sara.
Oh, I've got some beautiful cranberry pearls. They would look amazing. Again, things like with that sunset yellow, it's got those blush tones. So something like any of your light pinks,
rose quartz.
I'm also thinking things like. You could put all your amethyst colours with it because you've got those tones of purple coming through. But with the gold as well, any of the gold
Botswana
agates, smoky quartz, any of those tones.
Your citrines, your lemon quartzes, the pinks would be beautiful because
there
such gorgeous golds
that won't go with those 2 tones.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many colours running through it.
Yeah.
That you can really play with that. But also all your sort of your neutral tones as well. But things like I've got the black and white. Is it rutilated quartz?
Yes,
Things like that. Any of those, are really beautiful.
So versatile, isn't it? So we're still going to carry on with the demonstrations, but we just want to get you some of the colours up. Now that was an entire kit because it had the amethyst in it and the wire. We'll get that on the bottom of the screen anyway. I think there's less than 40 of those kits now, but for these 2 colours, and there's no reason why you can't add this to your kit and mix it in, as Sarah suggested. For the gold and the actual, if I just show you the difference, it's a pomegranate. If I show, look, can you see it's a very perceptible difference. More sort of reds and orangey reds and pinks in there, isn't there, as opposed to purpley pinks.
Got the ruby tones.
Ruby tones, yeah.
Definitely.
So beautiful with it, don't get me wrong. There's no reason why we can't sandwich those 3 together, but it's nice to see the difference, isn't it, when I hold it. So for both of these, remember 100 grams each, and they just go on and on and on. And we can do lots of ideas, I hope. Just $9.95, so we saved over £10 on the Sari kit anyway. I think there's just less than 40 available, so if you don't want to miss out on those, we'll for another £10. And I might as well, shall I introduce some other colours as well before we carry on?
Why not?
And I love these because they're my mermaid colours.
They're gorgeous. I love those.
Amethyst.
I'm going to have to steal those from you.
I love them. I love them. You can steal them because I love you.
Oh, thank you.
Pansy pink and sea blue, mermaid blue. It really is. Pure Ariel, that one. And there's so much in those pinks. I mean, there's cerise in there when I looked at that, and there's sort of golds and mauves and $9.95 XMGC12. And at the bottom of the screen, which one's which again, sweetie? Sorry. Right, the ones at the bottom of the screen, sorry, I'll lead you up the alley there. The ones at the bottom of the screen are for these 2. EZGC42, $9.95. EZGC42. And then at the top of the screen are my sunshine and pomegranate. And these are XMGC12. So these are the ones to the top of the screen there. And these are the ones at the bottom of the screen. EZGC42. And you can do the 2 colours together, as we're going to see now in the demonstration with our pinks. But they're just beautiful. That's some lovely compliments, Sarah. Well, you are being commended.
Oh, thank you very much.
As I speak. Who's that lovely text from? I heard you talking in the gallery. Rod, was it? Rohita, sorry.
Oh.
Please convey her appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
For you, for coming up with such fabulous ideas, for making beads out of ribbon.
It's just, sometimes you think, am I going a bit too far? Am I going a bit out of people's comfort zones? But you've got to push it because as a designer, sometimes I feel I want to be a little bit safe because I always want to please the customer at the end of the day. But you know, to get new techniques, we have to push the envelope a little bit. Yes. And I'm hoping I'm doing that in a way that is wearable and the customers and the viewers can see the techniques and can see a way to be able to incorporate that into their jewellery.
And she loves the way you've hidden the wire on the inside. It's so clever and thoughtful, and you are to be commended. Rita, you're not the lady that sent me earrings, are you, sweetie? By any chance? This is all right. I had this gorgeous, and they made a bracelet and a necklace for baby Shay. And can I find the lady's letter? I personally wanted to write back, and just wondered, it's not Rahita by any chance. Can I just put that out there? She made me some amazing, also sort of Indian-inspired loops with gorgeous bright blue drop and they're gorgeous.
Just put a shout out on the JM Facebook
page.
That's a good idea. Find out who it was, because I'm sure there'll be. They'll own up to that beautiful work.
Exactly, definitely, exactly. Rightio, right, these are the colours. So they're at the bottom of the screen, they're at the side of the screen here. And let's carry on with, we'll get our main bundle back on the screen as well.
Okay, as all the viewers at home know, I absolutely love Kumihimo, and I thought I've got to try and Kumihimo the Sari ribbon. Why not?
Exactly, it's just seems like the perfect transition, doesn't it?
And it's, you know, we use threads, we use satin, we use hemp, we use beading thread and
tomorrow
wire.
we're going to do a lot on soutache tomorrow as well.
You can use soutache cords as well to do. I did a Kumihimo with some beautiful chips on the outside, and I used the soutache cord as the core, which made it quite a substantial core because I had 4 pieces of soutache cord running through the centre, and you can peek through and it's beautiful. So soutache cord makes a great Kumihimo cool.
Fantastic.
Okay, so what I've done is I've taken my disc and I've thrown it upside down so you can't see the numbers, because we don't need the numbers on this one, and we're not even going to use the slots. All we're going to do is use the hole in the middle.
Oh, there you go.
Because the Sari silk is quite a thick fabric, I didn't want to put it in the slots because you'd be trying to get it in and out all the time, and you may damage your Sari silk, and we don't want to do that. So all I've done is taken 4 pieces, and if I tip my disc upside down, you can see I've got a little overhand knot with my 4 pieces of Sari silk doubled up. Okay, so that's as simple as that is. And all I've done is I've laid on my disc the Sari silk into 8 spokes. So 2 at the top, 2 north, 2 south, 2 east, 2 west. And I'm just going to do the standard Kumihimo braid. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put it into the slots, I'm just going to do it on top of the disc. So you need to try and hold your disc flat. And what I would suggest, if you put your thumb over the 2 that you're holding the disc at the side, you're holding the disc at. If for whatever reason everything flips up, at least you've got hold of 2 of them.
Okay.
Or you need to run to answer the door or anything like that, at least you've got hold of it. So the normal braid is north right to south right, and south left to north left, and that's it. Okay, so that's one move. Now I'm going to turn my disc and do exactly the same. And if you're at home, you won't have your Sari silk on a table. You'll be able to do this on your knee or on your lap, and they'll hang nicely, and you won't have to keep picking them up and moving them. So all I'm going to do is do that
south,
again and do that.
South, north.
And what you want to do is you want quite a loose effect. So you can see I'm not pulling them tight.
No.
All I'm doing is a loose effect.
The effect, well, is fantastic. I love this sort of
And
weave.
now you can see it's starting to sit up proud on my disc. Can you see if I
Yeah.
show that? Can you see I've got a lump on top of my disc? So I just want to pull that through and make it go away. And then I can turn my disc again. And this is what's going to give you that beautiful, loose, almost knitted effect. But I can't knit, so.
I suppose, could we anchor the bottom with something like a weight or a bead, or
you
I
could,
don't know.
but if you put something too heavy, it'll pull it too much
Yeah,
through,
that might
because we're not using the anchor points on the disc.
Yeah, that might destroy our loose tension that we want.
So all we want to do is literally keep turning. And if you need to put this down, I'll do it while I've got this light pink. Can you see this light pink one I've just moved? You can see it's going over the top. Now if I just needed to put that down, when I pick it up, if I hold it, can you see that this pink one here?
Yeah,
It's going over the top. And that tells me I've just moved that one from the south on the left to the north on the left.
Right.
So when I pick it back up again, I would put it back and then turn my disc. So I would know it should be at the north on the left-hand side. And I'd be able to just turn my disc.
So you're
and
turning
resume.
anti-clockwise.
I am. If you want to turn clockwise, just remember you're going to always turn that way.
Okay, so don't mix that up.
No.
Right.
Because on a Kumihimo braid, can you see we've got a spiral almost
Yeah.
as we go round. And if you turn your disc in the opposite direction, what happens to the spiral is it goes in the opposite direction, which gives it a really nice look if you're wanting that to happen. But it's for this sort of look, we want to keep going in the same direction. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm just going to, there we go. And so literally, I'll do a few more just quickly so you can see. I mean, this will build up really quite quickly. I think the whole neckline piece probably took me less than 10 minutes to actually braid. So, because we're not pulling tight, we're getting a loose braid. And if it doesn't want to go like this one, I'll just put it down and pull it over. And you'll see already underneath, I've already got some coming through. Okay.
Yes.
So there we go. And you will just literally keep going until you've got a length like that. But what I want to show everybody, because they've seen me do the Kumihimo braid before, but I just wanted to show how to do it with the
Well,
Sari
definitely, because
silk.
people tune in at all different aspects of the show, so we may not have. I've never seen it demonstrated as we stand next to each other.
Oh,
I've
well,
seen
there you go.
it at other shows, so that was lovely for me.
But what I want to show people is, because it's such a large braid, we need to anchor it somehow. We need to make a neckline piece from it. And I thought, oh crikey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to make my neckline piece? So what I've done is I've actually anchored my knots, and I'm going to quickly show you how to do that with the wire and things. And it makes quite a nice clasp, and I've made my own beaded clasp as well, which I think just really, if you can do this and can make your own findings with a bead of similar sort of colour or tone to what you've used in the rest of the neckline piece, it really just finishes it off. Because I've got quite short hair, so people see the back of my neckline pieces.
It just gives it a very luxurious finish.
And even so, you know, you may make a piece and think, oh, am I going to wear my hair down? And then suddenly you go into a posh do and your hair's up and you think, oh, I can see the back.
Only scruffy ends.
Okay, and I don't do scruffy ends, and I don't. So I'm just going to take a length of wire again, not a particularly long length. If you've got any bits hanging over, it's probably just over a foot. As you can see, I don't measure anything. People always say to me, how much? I don't, not that much. Yeah, so 4 arms worth, yeah. And what I'm going to do is, imagine I've braided all this and I would finish it with an overhand knot. So if I'd done all of that, it would all be Kumihimo and I would have finished just with an overhand knot like I did on this end. So that would be my braid.
Now Sarah's just using the Cerise Sari silk, which comes in the bundle that you see here to my right. Sorry, it was a text that came in. WFG C18. Sarah's actually demonstrating with the Cerise Sari silk that we had in the actual kit with the amethyst, with the gold wire and with the wax cord. So that's the Cerise one, but my other bundles are pomegranate and sunshine, and that's at the bottom of the screen at the moment, just to clarify that. And the other one is candy and sea blue. So you can just ask the call centre as well if you want any of those other colours. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. It's important you get your right colours.
Well, this is it. I think so. Yeah, you don't want to be disappointed.
I wouldn't even be asking the call centre. I'd be saying all the Sari silks in my basket, please. Because I, you know, it's one of these materials I hadn't really used before.
Really?
I'd seen it and I'd felt it, and I thought, oh, but
it's like you and Sari have been together forever, if you ask me.
I think me and threads and any sort of threading material kind of really get on well.
Yeah.
So whether it be satin cords or hemp or anything like that. Great. So what I've done is underneath my overhand knot, I've just got a piece of wire and I've left, again, a tail, so I've got something to hold on to, and I'm just going to wrap. And what I want to do is I want to get quite a tight wrap because I don't want my wire to be able to slip over my overhead knot. So I've got 3 little round wraps under there, and then I'm going to come over my knot, and then I'm going to, you see this little bit here, I've got a little tuft. I want to wrap really tightly around that. Now I've got a little bit left, and that's what I'm going to make a loop on. Again, the same as we did before, that wrapped loop, so I won't show it again, but I would make a little wrapped loop, and then I would come back, and with the excess, I've got a little bit excess here and a little bit of excess here, and make a little spiral. And that just finishes it all off. And I'll quickly show everybody how to do a little spiral if they haven't done it before. And all you need is your round nose pliers and your flat pliers. And with the very tip of your round nose pliers, grab your wire so there's none sticking out of the top, and form. I know I always say that because if you've got a little bit sticking out the top, it won't form a perfect circle. Can you see I've just gone right round and back on itself, and I've got that perfect circle in the middle. If you don't get it right and you have a little bit sticking out, you'll get an oval or an egg shape, or
we get a lot of questions about that. Mine always comes out egg shaped, or
if you don't quite get this circle right in the middle, in the starting point, you're onto a bit of a sticky wicket,
hiding to nothing.
Yeah, and can you see I've just started letting that wire come back round on itself before I've changed pliers. A lot of people think, oh, I've made that circle and then swap to their other pliers. Let the wire take its natural course for that little extra bit, and it'll make life a lot easier when it comes to actually making the spiral. And another question that probably people get is that they manage to take the colour off the wire. Now, the secret is you're going to let the wire do the work, not the plier.
Yes, not the...
You're not doing that.
Yeah, which
the
takes
wire,
off the colour.
because that's where we scratch.
Yeah.
When you start moving your pliers and you're grabbing and gripping too hard, you'll take the coating off. So
no grabbing and gripping.
No, gentle with the wire. And all I'm going to do is pop it in there, and I'm going to turn my wire. So I'm going to twist, grab, and turn my wire. So the plier isn't moving.
Yes.
And it's a very light grip. I'm not really grabbing.
It's your left hand that is...
Yeah, it's all doing the work for me.
Which on the screen looks like
there we go.
Your right hand, but yeah.
I know. I still can't get used to it when it looks the wrong way around on the screen. And literally, you're going to keep going, twisting and twisting until you get your spiral, and then I put my spiral there. Look.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and you can see, and then you can just tuck it in underneath one of these little wires if you want to keep it secure, or you could leave it out like that. You could add an extra gemstone on there. You could add all sorts of different things, but that's how you would finish that off, and you'd have a little clasp on there. Yeah. And I just made my own findings, which I know that Gemma shows beautifully on her DVD, how to make your own clasp and findings.
That is gorgeous.
There we go.
WFGC 18, proving very, very popular. And don't forget, we do the other colours as well in the saris. Now, before I even came on, Sarah had her eye on these, because we didn't give you those, did you? We haven't even got to the designer decides, and she said, I'm having those. So we will be giving those to Sarah as a first choice in the designer decides. Fair enough, they're my favourite colours as well. Can I ask you about this gorgeous bracelet?
Yeah.
Now, we've used the wax cord, because we haven't talked about the wax cord.
Yeah, no.
Can you show me, is it possible to have a little look at this technique here?
Definitely.
I love the fact that it's able to go through the agates as well, the rice bead, the rice bead amethyst, the crackle, no, it is the agates, the crackle agates there. And it's almost like a take on the sort of the friendship bracelet, but again using that beautiful sari silk and this lovely wrap. I think that is gorgeous. Reminds me of a blanket stitch.
It's a half hitch.
A half hitch. Marvellous. Let's have a little look.
Okay, so I may have made my little pieces too short, but this should be okay for demo. So all I've done is you want 2 pieces folded in half, so you end up with 4. You can't see them against my top. How perfect a match. So I've got 2 pieces, and I'm just going to tie to start off with an overhand knot, which will form part of the clasp when I finish this, because this doesn't actually have a clasp on it at all. So I'm just actually going to make a loop and tuck the tail through. Standard overhand knot. So this won't actually be long enough, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for this. Okay, so yours will be longer, but just ignore the fact mine aren't very long. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little piece of my cord so I can anchor this up onto my board. Now, I never throw away ends of my cords, bits of ribbon, bits of beading thread. I have a big box of them for just such a purpose, because I don't like using new bits. And what I do is I will take the tail through my loop, like so. And then I can anchor it onto my macrame board. It just means that I've not got one less thing to hang on to. So that's going to sit there. Then I'm just going to take quite a good length of the thread, because I'm going to be tying a lot of knots with it. So I want quite a good length, probably about a metre.
A metre then?
Yeah, about a metre. And don't do what I just did and cut your thread with your pliers. Very naughty. If anyone saw that at home, I'm really sorry. I don't normally do that. The pressure of live TV. Right.
I wondered why your end was a little bit fuzzy, but I didn't say anything. I thought
because I used my pliers and not my scissors. Bad. Very, very naughty. Okay, so I've got my tails and I've got my thread. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread underneath all my threads, and I'm going to take my ends through the loop. And this is a lark's head knot. Have you ever heard of a lark's head knot?
I haven't, no.
Luggage label.
Is that what it's called?
It's called a lark's head knot. I don't know why.
Luggage label. But
luggage label. And that now is just anchored underneath my knot there.
A lark head knot.
Yeah. So it's just literally gone right underneath the knot, and you can see that it's really anchored in there. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to form a series of half hitch knots. It's a half hitch spiral technique. And a half hitch is basically just a knot. It's a very easy knot. And all you do is, whichever way you want to work, you're going to make the knots the same all the way. I like to work with my half hitches going to the left-hand side, because I can then hold my tails with my left hand as well, and then I've got my right hand making the knots.
I see.
Because I'm right-handed, but yeah, I can do them both ways, and you will learn to do them both ways as well, because sometimes you need them on both sides for different patterns. So, to make a half hitch, what you do is you form a loop over these are your working your lazy strands, and this is your knotting strand. So you always hold. They call them the holding strands as well. You might hear that term if you ever look anything up in called holding strands. And what you do is make a loop. You take the tails under and through the loop. So you can see I'm putting my finger underneath to catch them, to bring them through.
Yeah.
And that means that you can hang on to your holding threads all the time. And then you're just going to pull that up and that's the first of your knots, like so. And then you're going to do another one. So you can see how quickly this bracelet actually forms. And it is like a blanket stitch.
Yes,
it's very much like a
yes,
blanket
yeah.
stitch. The one stitch I can probably remember how to do from
Well,
school.
exactly, from school. And they used to teach you sewing. Do they still do sewing in school?
Can you imagine? I used to be an embroiderer and I can't actually remember half the stitches I used to
Really?
do. Oh yeah, I used to do all the flower stitches and, you know, where you make petals that are anchored with a stitch at the end of each petal. I used to do all of those and I can't remember any of it now. I was only about 10 when I was making things for my nan.
Yeah.
Stealing things out of the sewing box and people's hankies to sew on. I was probably one of those kids that probably thought, oh, just give us something to do to keep her busy. Okay, so I've just taken one of my beautiful agates off. So you imagine you've done that until you're halfway or where you want your beads to start appearing on your bracelet. And then I'm literally going to take one of my pieces of wax cord, and how simple is that? Look, they go straight through. I didn't even have to aim or anything.
It's
really,
great, that
really
wax
easy.
cord, isn't it?
It is, and the holes in these agates are superb. So if you do love your macrame, you'll get lots of thread through them and things like that, so they're absolutely fantastic for that. So I've added that on. I'm going to pick up my holding threads again in my left hand, and I'm just going to do exactly the same again. One more half hitch. Except this time, my bead is now in that blanket stitch, if you like. So if I hold that up, you see, it's just attached itself into there. Now, these half hitches quite often want to twist because it's the nature of the knot. You're going in the same direction, so it's going to want to go around that holding thread and twist, but you can just keep straightening them out as you go. If you want the twisted effect, that's great, just let it go for it. And it works great if you've got smaller beads. If you do the twisted effect, they actually twist around the actual holding threads as you go.
Yeah,
and you would literally just keep going, half hitch, underneath we go, back through the loop, and just keep going, pull your threads up to where you want them, and that's it. And all I did with the end was I literally tied my clasp for this, because it's all fabric and things like that, is I tied another knot at the end, which encases my my wax cord and all my sari silks, and that's my button, if you like, and that's my loop. So the loop was where we started.
That was your loop at the start, wasn't it?
And this is like your button, and these are great for children, because they quite often don't want a clasp on there. They're great for men's jewellery, these sorts of clasps, because of course they go in the shower with everything on and don't want to take any of the jewellery off. So you don't want, sometimes having metal and things on them is not, you know, always the best case. But that's how you do that one.
Was that you, Ryan? Ryan says that's how he does his washing. Like skanky boy.
They're funny things, boys, aren't they?
We have another Sara. Sara in Leicestershire. It wasn't about that bracelet, it was about this bracelet.
Yes.
She wanted to know, did you coil in the middle? Was that right, Pip? Yeah, Sara wants to know, did you coil on the inside?
I didn't.
Oh, right, okay.
This one's
so
slightly different.
We've only got a few minutes on this
I'll
section,
be
but
really
we've got 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we get
Marvellous.
it all
So
done in
Sara,
5 minutes.
and also we've had another question from Michelle in yeah. Oh, and where was Michelle? Sorry. Oh, in Dunford Bridge. She's made a sari ribbon wreath, and she says it looks stunning.
I bet it does. And you can do all the rag techniques with it, like so you can just do the, you know those lark's head knots? If you've got a wreath, you can do those lark's head knots with the sari silk, and then cut all the tails and then fray it all up, and it'd look amazing.
And she used pinking shears on the edges to prevent further fraying. Could you put that on our Facebook page for us? And we'd love to see the picture there. If you can pop that on our Facebook page on JewelleryMaker.com, that'd be lovely to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So this one.
So because the other Sara and Leicestershire thought maybe this was coiled on the inside like your sari beads. It's not.
I was on the mission to save wire again.
Let me hold on it for you.
Yeah. So all I'm going to do is literally just untangle some sari silk so it doesn't roll away on me.
I assumed we'd finished the other demonstration. Sorry, there's me jumping ahead.
No, that's fine. We're there. That's all right. I would have told you otherwise.
The gizmos there at the bottom of the screen as well are basic gizmo for $4.95. So we're gizmoing sari silk.
We're gizmoing sari silk. So all we're going to do is just as you would wire, and I'll only do a little bit so you can see. There we go. Look how quick that is. And you would just literally go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until you got to where you want.
Colours, aren't they?
So all I'm going to do is quickly just anchor that off. Okay. And then that would be the core of my bracelet. So that's all I'm going to do for the actual core.
Yeah.
That's this piece. You would just keep going until you've got the thickness you wanted.
Right.
And then what I did was left all that on there, anchored a little bit of wire very quickly, and then gizmoed this like that, then came back with some beads on this strand.
Ah, those lovely
The
amethysts. Yes.
So if you imagine, I've got all
Sage
my
amethysts.
amethyst on there, and I would add those as I come back.
Just gizmo round.
And you literally just drop one in every time your coil comes back round to the top.
To the top,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
And then to create the ends, all I did was on the end, when I got to the end, is made one of those little spirals like that. And then I left a little tail and just made a loop, a little wrapped loop, and that was where I attached the clasp to on that end. So the tail on this end becomes the loop for this end, for the clasp, and the tail you wrapped around this end will become the loop for the other wrapped loop, so the actual wire to be able to create that one.
Yeah.
And then I just literally made a handmade clasp with 2 amethyst.
So does it slide off? Because I know the one thing with the Sari beads is that you didn't want it to collapse in.
Yeah.
But if it's just a snake,
Yeah, this one will come off.
it doesn't collapse in.
No, don't use the wrong thing to cut everything. I'm going to just take that off.
I'm fascinated.
And then if I take this off, and imagine I will have tidied all these ends up, because what I will do before I finish this is I would take this end off and untie the knot. I'm just going to quickly do it, and you'd have a good coil at this end. Okay, so everything's loose now, hopefully. Yeah. And then this will just slide off.
Well, I never.
And
Now,
it's-
sorry, go on, darling.
Yeah, and that's it.
Beautiful, yeah, it doesn't, does it? No, that's fantastic. Sam says as well, you know, sorry to go back, but on the Sari silk necklace,
Yes.
how long would you need to make those Sari silk strands for when you're doing it over your Kumihimo?
Because this is a looser braid, it doesn't seem to eat quite so quickly as
Yeah.
the tighter braids.
Yeah.
So I would say if you took twice what
Yeah.
you need, and bear in mind if you've got any little bits left
When you
over.
say twice what you need, so
So
if this is what
your
I
neckline.
need, double that.
Yeah, so for each of the 8 strands, you take twice your neckline. So,
Oh, sorry, right,
yes.
okay.
So for each of the 8, so
So
all,
one strand,
if you wanted to do
double
it
that.
with, if you wanted to do it with the 4 strands like I did, you would take 4 lengths on each of those 4 double strands, and then you would fold
Right.
those in half. So you'd end up with 8 of twice the neckline length.
Twice the neckline length.
Yeah.
Let's quickly recap then. This is our designer inspiration with Sara Elvin. The texture design, that was the beautiful cerise pink Kumihimo. The Sari ribbon there, sorry I should say, not Kumihimo. The gold coloured copper wire 0.6 that Sarah was using. 10 metres of the purple wax that we just saw on the bracelet demonstration. Then you had the crackled agate rice beads on that bracelet. The sage amethyst that we made in the Sari bead. And the amethyst irregular nuggets as well. All in that textured design kit, WFG C18. Coiling gizmo at the bottom. Now we've got another fantastic beading cabochon frame to show you with Sarah. She's stolen we'll get some more, we'll get these up again, but she's stolen my lovely cerise and the blue for our designer decides. Don't go anywhere, loads more to see.
Join us on Jewellery Maker as we count down the days until Christmas. Stay tuned to see perfect Christmas gifts for all your friends and family at prices you won't believe. And what's more, anything you buy can be refunded or exchanged until the 31st of January. So for hassle-free shopping and great value, it has to be Jewellery Maker.
The new year is fast approaching and we're getting ready to go out with a bang. You can get involved by voting in the annual JM Awards. Check out Facebook from Monday the 25th of November at 10 AM, where we will release a different voting category each day until December the 6th. Get involved with Jewellery Maker.
You can now watch clips from Jewellery Maker on our YouTube channel. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
Join guest designer Sara Elvin and get creating stunning designs in no time with this Kumihimo introductory DVD. The easy to follow steps shown on this DVD will make you feel like you have your own personal tutor and will guide you through a variety of techniques to get you started. To get your hands on a copy, simply contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
Tune into Jewellery Maker every day at 5 p.m. for our Miss It, Miss Out show, where we'll have 4 hours of jam-packed deals, including clearance offers, end of line, last in stock and low, low prices. The Miss It, Miss Out show, only on Jewellery Maker.
Welcome back. Now, are you trying to get those stockings filled for Christmas? Because I have got some fantastic stocking fillers. Now, they're going to be peppered throughout the show, so it's a case of watching at the right time, so make sure you continue watching. But don't forget as well, with Sarah, we'll also be looking at the bead framing of the cabochon. So, for example, and she used the wire twisters as well for twisting the cord, but that's a little hidden addition there. So, framing those gorgeous cabochon set pendants in these beautiful ways, that's what we'll be looking at in the second half of the show. And they are the rutilated quartzes there around, could be a howlite there, isn't that gorgeous? And then creating that lovely with our silk cord as well. The net, sort of like a little web as it were as well. So something to look forward to in the second half of the show. Now she's stolen my Sari silk in the beautiful sea blue greens and the passionate pinks, which is fine because I love her. And she'll have 2 more choices in the next hour. But I'm going to start with a stocking filler. Yeah. This is my monochrome beading bundle. And don't forget, if you're new to us here on Jewellery Maker, create it, wear it, and share it. Go girlfriend. That's what you can do, because we'll give you our free DVD to get started and our free get started booklet, and you know, all the ways in which to develop your jewellery making skills with our jewellery hub in the hub magazine, in the hub. So we'll give you that absolutely free. So if you're buying a starter kit for someone to get started as a little stocking filler, as an introduction to Jewellery Maker, then this is perfect, because everybody loves your monochrome. Everybody loves the black and white. So let's think beyond the Terry's chocolate orange and the slippers and the DVD and the CD of, you know, Miley Cyrus. We want something else this Christmas, don't we? Although Ben would like that CD from Miley Cyrus. Right, this is my monochrome bundle. Let's start with an absolute Jewellery Maker essential. The felt beading tray. No Jewellery Maker worth their salt should be without this. How many of these have you got, Sarah? 50?
I've got about 7.
About 7.
Yes.
I think she's been a bit judicious, don't you? There's 1 on the desk, but she's got another 6 hiding
those
underneath.
are my personal ones.
Oh,
The ones here,
right,
I've got a great stack of them down here.
So, let me put it this way. 1 is not enough. Then we're also issuing with our bracelet Jewellery Maker tray. And this is great, because this gives you the sizes for the children's bracelets, for the adult bracelets, but gives you the different gauges there in terms of the size. Also for wire, you know, we were just talking about round shapes. If you want to make those bauble shapes, if you want to create that sort of wreath-like shape, but smaller versions on your Christmas tree, you've also got the lengths there to lay out your bracelet lengths. So it's really specifically for the bracelets. We'll give you that as well. So we've got our pink, if you like, the pink necklace making tray and the bracelet board. We've also got the gemstones. So let's introduce you to these. And I've got a gorgeous lapis lazuli section later on as well that Pyrite works beautiful with. Now this is my Pyrite, my twisted nuggets here, shining beautifully, creating an amazing reflection there. Twisted rice beads, 310 carats. I've also got 90 carats of my black stripe agate. Oh yeah, times 2. So you've got gorgeous browns in there, and blacks and whites, hence the monochromatic feel, 2 strands. Then we've got 2 of the Bieberesque black and white gift bags. Yeah, the black and white gift bags, 2 of those. We also have 10 of the black organza drawstring bags. So they are this size, as you can see. So lovely for putting the little gifts in. And if you haven't seen it before, don't forget they're all labelled with It doesn't say Jewellery Maker. It is entirely up to you because that is made by you. So it's handmade gemstone jewellery. And I like that fact because it's not advertising us necessarily. It's advertising the work that you've done. So your little gift could be in there. And then you've also got your purple organza drawstring bag in there as well. And you get all this inside as well. Really? So I haven't finished? Got my voice going higher? I don't think so. My beading essentials, heavens above, it goes on and on, Sarah. Monofilament, beading thread, elastic. Oh, the coils. The stainless steel coils for the necklaces. So on average, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 coils there on average for the necklace, for the torque necklaces. And then you've got that in the bracelets. Gosh, again, 5, 10, is there a list? I don't know. Anyway, there's loads on there, isn't there? Again, quick estimates, 3, 6, 9, again, 14 coils there. And then you've also got it on the Slinky Minky ring coil as well in stainless steel. Yeah, 14 on those. Then we've also got the black organza ribbon. Is that 5 meters, darling? 5 meters? 5 meters of white, 5 meters of silver, and then the beautiful, and this is the blue that you can see with the vanilla of the blue satin cord. Can you see that there? Sarah's used it, but she's mixed it in with that vanilla gold as well, which is beautiful, but that beautiful blue satin cord, 5 meters as well, all in your purple organza bag. So loads of different threading materials in there as well as your trays, your bags, your gemstones. It's a whole fantastic jamboree of Christmas. We're thinking of you starting. We're thinking of you, already having made. And it's nice, those coil springs for the bracelet, the necklace, and the ring are sensational. The ribbon we know we'll get so much use out of. The 3 gemstone strands are very universal. And the beading tray and the bracelet making tray. I mean, you've got so many, if you wanted to separate it up, so many little individual presents, couldn't you? Yeah. Lots of little different stocking fillers. I mean, we've put the monochromatic beading bundle together to give you savings, but of course it's up to you. Split it apart. If you've got several jewellery makers in the family, split it apart or make lots of little ones. That will fill up the stocking. That will fill up the stocking. KRGC97. Now, buying them separately from Jewellery Maker, you're talking £36. We know because it's our own set prices. However, we've bundled, we've stored, we've stolen, we've stashed, we've put it all together to fill your stockings. KRGC 97, so instead of 35, 30 odd, what did I just say? £24.95, so a great stocking filler. New today, only for today, so please don't miss out because these bundles are only for the show, and then we move on. They'll be sold as separate components, so you're paying well over £30 if you want to buy them separately. You can never have enough trays. I mean, where would you start with that, Sarah?
Oh, well, I love doing techniques with the satin and the ribbon around the memory wire, so I absolutely love to encapsulate that. And if you do that, the little half hitch we did with the bracelet with the waxed cord,
yes.
You carry on doing it with either the ribbon or the satin cord. You keep going and keep going and keep going. You get this beautiful snake effect. It's like a helter-skelter effect around something like memory wire.
Yes.
And that looks amazing against the neckline. So if you love memory wire, you love the texture, the sort of the structure of it.
Yeah.
But you want to have that softer neckline. You can then use those to encapsulate that. And then you've got, is there gemstones in there as well?
Yes, there's black striped agate and pyrite twisted.
So you're going to be making some sort of, dare I say it, vintage inspired pieces from that, and also those little black dress pieces, because both of those come to mind when I see those gemstones. And then having the option of having all of the ribbon with it, because of course those sort of Victoriana pieces, you often had the choker with the ribbon, with just a single, like the pendant I've done there with the
yes,
that would look, with the ribbon as a choker piece, would look amazing. So you've got all of those to be able to
I'm just thinking with the stainless steel, the memory coils, as it were. Your lovely Sari silk again.
Again, yes.
Wrapping around.
Indeed, you could really go to town with the Sari silk on the memory wire. If you want to then take it with a different direction, you can then mix and match Sari silk and ribbon or the satin together and really get a textural feel.
Oh, beautiful.
So there's so much you can do with that bundle.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a few of the little tiny pieces you wanted to mix and match and add into it, which all of us jewellery makers have, a little stash at home of various different things, some larger than others. It's taking over my house, I think, at the moment. But, you know, it's just, you know, once you have a base, and I think that is a great base to start from. If you wanted to add a pop of colour, or if you wanted to take it in a different direction, you know, if you took those beads, but then added in, well, I'm thinking adding in this Sari silk, the blue, would look great with the blue satin as well as the ribbon, but you can then add other gemstones as well.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I have these, there's another amazing bundle coming up that would look gorgeous with this. And I love these, look at those, the squares, look at those. You seen those before?
Oh, I did. I had those in a kit. I had those.
Beautiful.
And do you know what I mixed them with some rounds, and I had some. I think I had some of the satin shell pearl in the sort of taupey mocha colour.
Oh.
And it had a really cutting edge feel to it with those squares.
They're gorgeous.
And it was almost like a bit like sort of barbed wire and satin. It was a really strange combination, but it worked so well.
The edgy and the soft. Well, that's a bundle coming up later that I just think would work beautifully. Can't take my eyes off. There's little cubes of white quartz there, it's corner drill, that are just, I love those squares. I haven't seen them before, you see, Sarah. So that's nice with the softness, like you said, of your shell pearl there. Beautiful. So great stocking filler, brand new today, but for today and only today, $24.95. Lots in there, lots of ideas from Sarah as well. So again, another fantastic addition to your jewellery making. Now I'm going to move on with some lots and lots of goodies, because obviously I want Sarah to carry on choosing for the designer decides. So I'm going to give Sarah the opportunity to do that now. Alrighty, so she has a choice of 2 more pieces. When you just shout out, darling, whenever you think you know you want to work with. Right. Well, I already know the answer to this one. Coming up, well, it happens to be Sarah's favourite gemstone. Lavender amethyst. Can I interest you?
You definitely can. You said the magic words.
I said she has not enough amethyst today. Was that a decision?
It was. I can't get enough amethyst. I am just absolutely addicted to the gemstone.
Obsessed.
I am.
She's obsessed.
But I love the fact that it works so well with so many different gemstones. You can take it and put it with labradorite. You can take it and put it with your pearls, your rose quartz, your clear quartz. You can put it with smoky quartz. It looks amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Citrine, carnelian, any of those gemstones, and it just works. I'm absolutely, as a base gemstone, and it seems funny to have a coloured gemstone as a base, but I actually love amethyst as a base gemstone and then putting extra pops in there. Yeah. And it just works beautifully.
It does, you're right, it goes with all of those gemstones that you said there. And this is a brand new strand, Sarah, so no one's seen this apart from you today.
It has to be mine then.
It has to be yours, yes. GCGP81, it's 130 carats, and of course it's the gentle lavenders of the amethyst side of the family, so lovely feminine touch there. And I think this is, you know, just to reaffirm what Sarah was saying, it does allow itself to go in any direction with the earthy browns, or the pretty feminine pinks, or golds, or a pop of red, or the greens. It really is a fantastic base, as Sarah said, and just look at the gentle tones there. If you love kunzites, you're going to adore this brand new strand. They are 10mm puffy coins, and you can see the range there, very lilac pinks there, to lavender purples there, to sort of white with a touch of pink. There's some gorgeous tonality there. It's very gentle and easy on the eye and so beautiful on the skin tone. It's a brand new strand today. And the designer has decided she wants it. I'm thinking that pinky suit, well, that's what she's got in her hand, the pinky soutache that Sarah decided to have. The Sari, I'm obsessed with soutache. The Sari, tomorrow is soutache, I'm so sorry. The beautiful pink Sari with the sea green. She's already got the pink Sari in her hand to go with this lavender amethyst. It's new today. Selling like hotcakes, proving immensely popular. We've got to be on the phone at ASAP because a lot of people are taking advantage of our money back guarantee to the 31st of January. That is a brand new strand. And just to prove Sarah's point, there you have it with the blues. I mean, this is the colours of what I'm sort of wearing today, what Sarah's wearing. Yeah, they're the Prussian blue shell pearls. I mean, how pretty are those? Or, for instance, mixing it in with some, again, the blues of your China blue, your sodalite. Really pretty as well. Works, doesn't it? Just want to prove the point. Even with the greens of my potato pearls, you know, that's Mother Nature, isn't it? The green and, yeah, real vintage look there. It just, as a base colour, it just goes. It really, really does. There's nothing you can't mix your pretty pink amethyst with, that's for sure. It's the law of the Sara. There we go. I've got to move on. So they're yours, darling. I shall leave them there for you to collect. Ooh, you have one more choice. She's already got them. That's it. The Sari silk's out. Right. Let's do the sodalite. And how pretty did it look with the Prussian blue shell? Yeah. Just mixing it up there. Another brand new strand. Maybe a bit of the pyrite in there as well. Isn't that gorgeous? It is a wonderful princess blue after Princess Caroline. She loved the sodalite, sodium-rich gemstone, giving you those white flecks of colour there. And again, like fine bone china. They're big though. They're a big strand of sodalite. 500 carats. UHGP 61. Big rounds. And notice how some of them are really quite china white. And then the blues, they all look like gorgeous ornate marbles. But of course, if you're new to Jewellery Maker, this is not glass, this is not fake, this is not imitation. These are real gemstones. And your sodalite is a rare, beautiful gem. Any gemstone, in order to be classed as a gemstone, needs to be rare, beautiful, and durable. It has to have those three factors before it can be passed as a gemstone. So, sodalite fits that category. And that's what we're very proud to bring you here at Jewellery Maker. And make that bundle as big as you like. Again, I'm thinking these blues with the sea blues in the Sari bundle that Sarah's using in the designer decides would be gorgeous. I'm a blue baby anyway, it's my favourite colour, so anything blue is a win-win for me. But it's the speckled effect there. There's nothing like this gemstone. We've got our gorgeous rich lapis with the mica pyrite inclusions later on. But this, in terms of like a fine bone china, you know, this stands alone in your rich sodalite. 14mm rounds, brand new strand. Very pretty with pearl. $8.95. Again, a vintage look. Maybe not even necessarily white pearl, maybe some gold pearl because there is some warmth. There are some like little honey browns in there as well. Would look beautiful, or ivory creams. What are you thinking, Sarah? You're gazing lovingly at the sodalite over here.
I do. I mean, I'm one of those people that I don't wear a great deal of blue, but I do love blue gemstones. There's not many gemstones I don't love, actually. I'm in the right job, aren't I?
You are, my darling. You found your vocation in life at last.
But, you know, they're just so beautiful. They're so soft, so feminine. But there again, you can take them on a masculine route. You know, you can pop just, you know, a couple of those into a hemp piece of jewellery or a piece of leather cord and they become very masculine. But you can just use those again with so many different colourways. But they're such a substantial size as well. If you wanted to wire wrap them and do this sort of caged wire wrap, the undulating caged wire wrap where you have maybe 2 or 3 on top of each other and like almost cage the wire around them.
Oh, right, I'm liking that.
That would look beautiful. But they'd also look great if you wanted to do any of your macrame techniques with them because you'd only need a couple. Because they're very substantial.
The size,
again, things like crochet and knit work and all of those would work beautifully. I think I'm going to play around with crocheting with the Sari silk. So
I can't wait.
If we see how that goes, we may get a really good result on it. I don't know. I've not tried it yet.
Well, let's give it a go. And these are going like hotcakes, proving very popular and getting limited. Crocheting with Sari, whatever next.
I know.
Right, getting very limited, so please don't miss out on them. They're brand new today, UHGP 61. The essence of there is to get in nice and early. Go on, let's do the heart pendant. I love you. Look at this. Look at that for striking beauty. Again, I just tie with a bit of Sari and I'm done. The angels are singing. All I've got is in the gallery. how, and it's all the boys, it's all the boys.
Aww.
How beautiful. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, really catching the light. 3 hearts in one.
Oh, I think that might need to go with my amethyst.
My designer has decided. I haven't even got the price up. She's decided she wants that. That's your third choice, darling. You
That's
know
the good
that's
thing
it then.
about being the designer decides. I don't have to purchase it. But I know it's going to be a fabulous price, though.
You can have a rummage as well in the drawers, you know, for findings. I'm not
Oh,
that
yeah.
cruel.
I know.
It's only
I'll
little extras you need. But
little bit of wire.
essentially, the amethyst, the pink sari, and the blue sari there that you had. And our third choice is the heart pendant. You need to decide now, not later. We don't want you missing out. This is solid 925 sterling silver. So why do I sound surprised? It's just a lot of silver. And already hammered, as it were, for a perfect flat texture. And anyone will tell you here, any of our designers, that's, you know, to achieve that is hard because you always get those little indentations. So we've already done it, because look how clean that is on the surface. Aside from my fingerprints, of course. But it's hard because always one side it's going to get a couple of little nooks, isn't it? Because it's silver.
That's
but
it.
not with it already done.
That's it. That's the difference between it, sort of, you know, that high-end manufacturing, that craftsmanship. Then I know that we're all attaining to do that, you know, and aspiring to do that. But that's what you pay for. That's what you're getting with that high-end workmanship. And these pieces for such a large amount of silver, and they are so substantial.
Yes.
I'm always amazed at the price. I really am always shocked. And And I do look around. And
We've seen the heart designs. Not that Tiffany's has the whole, you know, earmarked to the signature heart, because it's universal, isn't it, in all jewellery designers.
Well,
but they've made a big
I
market
was asked
out
by a
of it.
friend, there's another jewellery designer that uses sterling silver balls in a lot of their jewellery.
Yes.
And she had a bracelet.
Yes.
And she said, I can't justify because she's the sort of person who wears earrings and then loses one, or she said, I can't justify spending that much money, but would you be able to make me a pair of earrings? And I got my sterling silver balls from Jewellery Maker and made them for her at a fraction of the cost, and she was absolutely thrilled. So this is what you're getting with these pieces of silver, is the ability to aspire to making jewellery at that high-end designer level for a fraction of the cost.
Exactly. Let's get you the fraction of that cost on the screen, and then you can have this, my darling. 925 sterling silver, 3 hearts in one. Again, going like hotcakes, because we love this. Say I love you. IAAR 57, 795. I know. Myself and Natalia are saying the same thing today. Again, I was looking at a well-known catalogue that comes through the door. You know, the signature little fingerprints or little names in silver. You know, of your children. I mean, there's one little bracelet, a bit of leather, which is macrame, isn't it?
Yeah.
£65.
Oh, I know.
Or a little disc. Then you had to buy another one if you had more than one child. Yes. I thought, Natalia just showed me how to make this. Even 20 grams of silver doesn't cost me that much, and I can just. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's just like crazy talk.
It is amazing. I know you're paying for the name and the packaging and all the advertising and everything else, but at the end of the day, you know, you don't need to turn to them when you can make it yourself, and you can put your personality. You can put the person you're giving it to's personality into there. And also, there's one thing you can never buy with pre-made jewellery is the love, the time and the effort that you put into it. You can't buy that.
It's a good job you had this early, because it's getting very limited on stock, Sarah. Very limited. The 3-heart pendant. I'll leave that there for you, my darling. I think that's going to be an absolute sellout success. So if you want more than one of those, get it now. Oh, bundleicious bundleness. Let's bundle it on the TV. Getting started. Get started. We all need to get, I think there was the perfect advertisement from Sara to get started. You can't buy that time, you can't buy that care, that thought. You can't put a price on something like that. So let's get you started. And the journey is so easy and accessible with Jewellery Maker here. You know, with our live show in the morning, in the afternoon with the designer inspired side of it, and then in the evening with fantastic bargains galore, as well as tutorials on our website. Come and do the workshops with us, you know, Facebook family to help you. Great stocking filler. And again, this is one you can never have enough of. To have more than one of these is only a bonus. ZJGC82, it's your get started. It's the large tool kit, the foam mat, and our docking station. So there's our docking station. You'll always see it at the side of our jewellery makers there. It's to place your tools on. It's perspex. It's got the holes in there as well that you place your reamer in, or you can just slide some scissors down the side there. We've got the foam mat, absolutely essential, because you've seen me here presenting, and gemstones flying across, or round silver findings. It just stops, you know, something ping-ponging across the table, but also protects the work surface as well. And you'll see it's nice and white and clean, so you know it's laid out, you can see what you're working with.
Do you know what? I'm going to use one of those with my demonstration to make the beaded pendant, because when you're trying to pick the beads up with your needle, it's better to have them on one of those mats, because the needle will go into the mat, whereas if you're trying to do it on something like a macrame board or your beading tray, the needle will stop because it's hard, whereas it actually goes into there and then you can pick the bead up very easily on a beading needle.
That's a good point.
And also, I know it's a bit naughty, but I actually chop mine up.
Ooh.
I know, and I put them inside my pink tray,
beading tray,
so that when I've got my trays laid out, I can actually put my beading needles into there as well.
Genius.
And it's easier to pick the beads out as well because it's softer.
There we go. So you've already got one of these. You need to get another one now and chop it up and put it in the grooves of your beading tray. Especially when we see the next demonstration, creating these beaded frames for your cabochons. But we've also got the large toolkit as well. Now, a lot of our designers have several of these on the go, the large and small, because you've got the extra sort of drill bit, as it were, to put all your different heads in terms of the file, the reamer there. Great for silver clay, bronze clay, copper clay. Great for your jewel enamel, you know, all those different elements of jewellery maker work. You've got the sort of the wider, thicker handles as well to grab hold of. They're just a little bit bigger for the purchase there. And you've also got you've got your crimpers in there as well, flat nose, round nose. So you've got a little bit of extra there. Our deluxe large toolkit, which normally is $15.95. Plus our docking station. I don't know if you can show the docking station. Sarah's got it to the side over there. So this is just a starter bundle. Yeah, you need it, don't you? You do.
Because I work in 3 different places in my house. Because depending on what time of day it is, I don't want to miss out on my favourite TV programme. So I work in my living room, and I have a very simple setup when I'm in my living room. I have a beading tray, a beading mat, a clipboard, and a macrame board, and I work on my macrame board with whatever on top of it. Yeah. This is like a knee rest. And then when I work in my dining room, I've got my dining room table with all my bits down there. And then I've also got a study with a desk in there as well. So just depending on what time of day it is and whether I can get on the dining room table because I'm feeding children or whatever.
Yeah, of course. You might be mid-project, don't want it to be disturbed, so that you'll have started that in the study maybe,
And also in my study, you know, I have my magnifying station set up. So if I'm doing sort of smaller bead work and stuff, I will work up there. But it's quite nice to actually sit at the dining room table and work with the family around you.
Exactly. You don't want to be hoiking everything up and down the stairs every 5 minutes.
No.
So we need more than one. So let's get that price up. We need more than one workstation. And if you haven't already got it, we need to create that workstation for you. Under £20. That toolkit there that you see here is $15.95. So for the extra £4, you're getting your docking station, you're getting your foam mat. So again, it's just the fundamental basics to get you to provide you with the environment upon which to start your jewellery making work. It sets up the environment beautiful. You've got the tools. Maybe you're getting your daughter or your son involved as well. So you do need those extra tools as well, because you'll want to be having a go. You want to be demonstrating while they're doing it at the same time. So you need more than one round nose, more than one flat nose. Alrighty, let's move on to some more goodies. My designer has decided on her choices already. But I'm going to bring you that fantastic Pyrite puffy coins. Now, don't forget, later on in the show, I've got the gorgeous selection, deluxe selection of Lapis lazuli, which this is the perfect accompaniment to. It is the vintage, it is the antique look. But it is, again, let's not forget that, the real gemstone quality from the Greek pyre, meaning fire, pyrite, the fiery gold, the fiery bronze look, but less sort of flashy than your gilt gold. Not that I mind it, but there's sort of the yellow, more of the, almost like a mirror that started to fade, you know, it's got that vintage finish to it. 250 carats, but it adds a bit of subtle sparkle, doesn't it? And also, I'm sure Sarah will agree, great for the gents jewellery as well, you know, without it being too flash and sort of Liberace-esque and in your face.
Yeah, it always just reminds me of those really old vintage mirrors. Yeah. Where the metal underneath has just started to fade and maybe split a little bit. Yeah. And it just gives me that effect. And I just, you know, it really is a subtle sparkle.
Yes.
and it's a warmth.
Not too brash.
It's a warmth that you wouldn't necessarily get from a silver.
No.
You know, and it just really adds to the jewellery.
It's just a little bit more understated, isn't it? Like you said, adds a warmth to the jewellery. Well, let's add to your order. Let's warm the cockles of your Jewellery Maker heart. BGP015, I'm reaching for the gin. £8.45. Donald, where is your trousers? £8.45. I know. And again, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 is going to be close to over 40 gemstones on there. £8.40. So 50, well, no, 50, what's that work out? 40 gemstones. So there were £10. So 20 pence each. Not even that. Not even that, roughly. 20 pence each for a real beautiful polished button of pyrite puffy goodness. Let's move on. I will love to. Oh, my brown striped agate. This is just gorgeous coffee. I've got a lovely bundle tomorrow, coffee coloured cappuccino deluxe mocha chocolate bundleness, and this would be beautiful. I want to put the pyrite with this as well. I mean, just look at that. Just gorgeousness. Look at those for colours. Again, it reminded me, it was very reminiscent, I thought, of Botswana, just in terms of the colours, but it's faceted with a gorgeous luster there. Look at those stripes and those rounds, and it's like a golf ball faceting, as it were. Coffee, chestnuts, there's banding, there's dipping, there's swirling, there's crackling like, not chestnuts, but like icy white. Beautiful, aren't they? It is. It's like a gorgeous sorbet. Beautiful, brand new stranders. Look at those colours. Look at those. Loads of you on the phone line there. We're loving these because they're huge, 14 millimetres. And they just, aren't they effortless in themselves? Don't they just look beautiful? Look at those. Look at the sparkle off them. There's nothing dull about those, Sarah, is there?
There isn't. Imagine a little strand of bicone smoky quartz.
Bicone smoky quartz. You're smoking now, Sarah. That would be gorgeous when I had some.
I know. But, you know...
We'll find some on the website.
But any sort of, you know, other smaller gemstone just popped in between those, you know, of a tone. That other bundle you had with all those white icy tones coming through really will just match up beautifully with those. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
There we go. The white quartz squares as well in between. Oh, edgy beautifulness. They're in my monochrome bundle coming up later on. Another little bundle. Beautiful, aren't they? I love those, and they've got those little squares that Sarah loved as well, she worked with. So please don't miss out. Lots of you adding it to your basket. Remember, brand new today. So only one. Oh, you what? $6.95. Buy two. Buy two. Buy three. Don't hold back for that price. And again, on the strand, a Fifi guesstimate, 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, close to 30 individual rounds. And just look at the colour. The cacophony of colour. They're beautiful. I can't take my eyes off them. Just they're gorgeous. Look at that for a lineup. You can't go wrong.
Can't. Beautiful.
Gemstone heaven.
And again, they're both feminine and masculine at the
aren't
same
they
time.
just? Yeah.
You know, my children love making jewellery, and to have beautiful beads that will suit little boys.
Yes, exactly.
But they're a bigger bead as well, so they will be able to pick those up beautifully and work with them.
Yeah, not too fiddly-faddly.
No, because they get bored of the little fiddly ones.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
My son's getting a bit older now, so his concentration's a little bit better, but you know, it's one of those things that you've got a beautiful, everybody in the family can work with those, from young to old, and they'll suit everybody.
With the result.
They'll suit everybody, and I think that's a great gemstone strand, and at that price, definitely.
Got to get 2 or 3 then. And
with this, it would look beautiful with the baby
pink. That golden suit, Ash, this beautiful gold, this gorgeous goldy one we had.
The gold
stop with your beautifulness. It's just got to be done. Heavens above. It's just got to be done. Very boho. Boo-hoo! We're going to miss out unless we're there. Righty-ho. Okay, green. Here we go. I was worried I was going to be a bit green today, to be honest. Look at these jaspers. Why? Are you able to do it, Ollie? Did Ryan show you? Have you got it there, the picture? I was really worried I was going to be a bit green today, Sarah, because I had to turn up for something yesterday and, well, make myself a bit green, should I say. Well, talk about trying to get this stuff off. I scrubbed, I thought, oh my heavens, I'm going to have to show everybody the picture because I'm going to have to explain tomorrow on TV why I'm still green.
Yes.
This is why. We're going to bring, this is for you, Pip. I know you love green.
Oh my goodness.
That was yesterday.
And that is green as well. It's not just a bit of green.
No, that is landscape green.
It is. It's bad enough when the children have their faces painted and have to scrub their faces. They hate it. I could imagine getting that off must have just been a nightmare.
Yeah, it was. I know you might think that was my own nose, but yeah, it was. But I thought, I was green here, I thought, I'm going to have to explain this. Why am I still green? Fortunately, it did all come off. Fortunately, it did. That's for you, Pip, because this is your green strand, my darling. I'll load that up on my Facebook page as well, Fiona Egan Presenter, and I'll let you know where I'm going to be slapping my thigh or, you know, sitting on my broomstick at Christmas. But yes, the Wicked Witch, I shall be done in the green. You'll see me in January and I'll still be green. Rightio, lots of you there. 480 carats of this gorgeous, sumptuous, it's the big colour again that's in those greens, those forest greens, those forest browns. This is brand new today. This again, I'm thinking that gorgeous gold Sari silk. But what I'm loving, there's a flatness to them. There's a beautiful, they're so tactile because there's a flatness to them. The ovals, and just look at the patterns on there as well. Just, all the bluey greens that Sarah's working with as well. There's so much in the strand that is more than just, you know, the horrific green we just saw. The emerald green, those emerald greens are so big. So, you know, I had to be bang on trend. If I'm going to paint myself a colour this year, it had to be green, didn't it? Because that's the colour that is so big this season. So if you want to be, you know, as green as I am and, you know, bang on trend and get with it, we need to be green. You're going to be green with envy if you're not already. I know, I couldn't resist. If you're not already on the phone line for this, there's loads on there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 beautiful pendants. They look. I'm going to put them up to the neckline because they look fantastic. Don't look too close in case there's a bit of green still there. I did try and scrub as much as I could. How fantastic are they? Show-stopping. Some gold wire, some gold chain. Beautiful. Oh, now I'm just thinking, yeah, wire wrapped on a ring. Just one would be fantastico, wouldn't it? Look at that. Be beautiful. Look at that for a statement ring. Your gold wire there, but wouldn't that just be beautiful, just really simple?
I know. And rings are one of those things that if you are doing a store, they're the one thing that really sells well.
Yeah.
Because they're normally one of the lower priced items you can do because you're only using one gemstone and a bit of wire.
Exactly.
And also it's the things that people can pick up and try on and they feel really at home, sort of pick a ring up, put it on, and they might go, oh, but that one didn't quite fit. And you can say, hang on a second.
I'll just tweak.
Yes,
if you've got the ring
mandrel
with your design, yeah.
You can get them, if they've got a ring on that finger that they want it to go on, take the ring off and
measure
actually
the
size it on the ring
yeah.
mandrel. And then you can actually say, give me 5 minutes, go get yourself a cup of coffee, come back in 5 minutes.
Rustled you one up.
I'll have it made for you. And while you're making on your stall, it draws interest to your stall as well.
That's true.
So it's a really great one to
JG P60, or we can be clever and leave it open-ended so we can just smallen it or widen it.
Yeah, those spiral ones with the swirls on the top.
$6.95, and we've got 20 rings we can make there. Sell them $6.95 each, quite frankly. Not necessarily that we're going to do that, you know, it's up to you, but they're just, look, I mean, look at that. Oh, it's like the tempestuous sea of the Emerald Isle. Isn't that fantastic? Beautiful. Ridiculous. JEG P16, you want to be in? Get with it. We need to be green this Christmas. Never mind anything else. And it's much easier to be green this way than the other way. Take it from me. It's got a lot of scrubbing. Right. Come on, darling. What's next? Whoa. Oh, yeah. You see, and I love this with, let me just put those green pendants, well, I'll call them pendants now, the rings and the green pearl and the gold. Look at that. Beautifulness. Ready to go. Beautifulness ready to go. I'll show you those pearls in a bit, but right now this honey of, I suppose, a flower connector, a pendant. I mean, just look at the gold shine, look at the intricacy of the work. It's a gold-plated sterling silver flower connector. It's big as well, as you can see. There's your connector there, and obviously the openness of the design means, of course, you can make it two-sided, you know, to connect from, or have it dangling down, or part of an asymmetric necklace, or, you know, just as a pendant itself. Again, maybe, yeah, you could, maybe that's part of your ring, I don't know, and depending on the setting, obviously above the finger there. But they do have a malleability. Again, yeah, I've seen these slightly sort of bent, curved slightly. I don't want to say bent, but yeah, curved slightly, because it's silver, isn't it? It's malleable once you...
It's going over the wrist.
Over the wrist,
and it could
yeah,
be that
beautiful
point
focal
where,
point.
you know, it may just be that you
just
need a
slightly,
ever such a slight. But I have seen these moulded into rings.
Moulded into rings, yeah.
But also you can, if you've got monofilament, you can then bead your little seed beads on the top of it.
Or seed beads, yeah,
or
2
you
millimeters.
can take a really fine, like a 0.25 wire, and you can actually wire wrap gemstones around the edge.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So you can do lots of different things with it, or you could make a really, you know, if you wanted to embellish it and maybe just put some little fine, tiny, weeny gizmo coils, maybe swirling around like little flower petals around the outside. You can do all sorts of different things.
Beautiful. FJAR53, great ideas there from Sara. And this is silver with the gold, don't forget, $6.95. FJAR53, $6.95. And you can see all that gold shining at you on the silver. They invested in the precious metal there. So beautiful. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, I've got another fantastic bundle for you. Another fantastic stocking filler. And not that one. That was in box number 4, darling. What box? Got it. Got it, darling. Here's my stocking filler, my beading thread, and 2 gorgeous beading scoops of labradorite. I can see, oh, the feldspar family there. So we are getting our beading thread DVD, because we often have loads of beading thread beading thread left over, and we can be so creative with it. You know, we do it in different colours as well. So you've also got labradorite, peach moonstone, white moonstone. I can see golden honey quartz in there as well. You can see all the different shapes, exciting shapes. You can see the labradorescence as well. These are 2 of my beautiful Jewellery Maker scoops. Loads of different sized gemstones, loads of different types of gemstone in there. Majority of those, the red agate in there, and carnelian, the sort of majority of those with the feldspars there, the labradorite, the moonstone in there. And then also we've got quartzes here, lemon, smoky, garnets. We've got, this is a mixture scoop, this one, prehnite, rose quartz, amethyst, orange agate there, smoky quartz, there's white quartz. So 2 great starters there. The bead scoops there, which you know can range from anything from 10 up to £20. The beading thread DVD, $4.95, any of our DVDs, but we've bundled it together as a stocking filler price. BYG C10, great starting point. Get this with the toolkit, the beading mats, that little bundle that we did earlier, $16.95. You know the DVDs are £5 anyway. So for £11, well, £12, sorry. The DVD, no, it's for £5, isn't it? Yeah, no, for £12 then, I can't add up. You're getting 2 amazing scoops. Hundreds of gems in there. So you could just give 1 amazing scoop to somebody else, keep the DVD for yourself, give another scoop to somebody else as a stocking filler. Separate these stocking filler ideas. But you've got an amazing array of gemstones there and lots of new ideas with all those leftover beading threads. So you know the DVDs are £5, so for basically, ostensibly, for £12, those scoops you get for £6 each, and they can range from £10 to £20. So loads of savings there. And loads of gemstones. Fantastic, another bundle for you. Watch out for those. They're every now and again. You just don't know when it's going to happen. So on to another box. Now, I love this because straight away I am seeing the shimmer and the shine of my black obsidian. Let me see if I can just show. Oh, there he is. Because it's more than just black. This would look so good with those button pyrites because of the gold. Can you see that? It's like a shimmering gold. And that would reflect them beautifully. with the button pyrites. It's another brand new strand. So it's not quite the black. You get this gorgeous shimmering underlying holographic gold element to it again. Did you see how big the moon was last night? It was huge. Huge, but I've had that explained to me by you, so thank you for that. So yeah, no wonder I was just thinking in the Middle Ages, I used to think it was going to come crash into the earth and, you know, kill them all, because it was massive, massive. It was beautiful though, wasn't it? The colours on there, the golds and the ivories. And
My son said, I think it's going to be a full moon very soon.
Is
There's a
it?
little tiny weeny bit missing.
Oh, well, it looked pretty much like a full moon. So, with this black, you see this jet black, but then this shimmering golden underlying obsidian. It's when the lava sort of just cools down too quick, as it were. So the crystals don't cement, as it were, and you get this little holographic element of fibrous inclusions in there, giving you a shimmer, almost like angelescence in moonstone, but it's beautiful obsidian. Gorgeous rare gemstone. You need to be on that phone line early because it's a brand new strand. Very, very busy today. And for a brand new strand, a good staple, great with the monochromatic bundle, great with the pyrite, £7.45. But it has that extra element, that extra surprise in there. So it's not just the pure black. It's got that gold, and some of them are, but then every now and again you'll just see that little tease of golden shimmer. Again, if you want to put that with some lovely golden pearls. Beautiful, beautiful. Alrighty, let me get something. I've got these gorgeous in between. You could use these in between. There's no reason why findings we can't use as, if you like, to separate gemstones, as it were. Just to add a little bit of je ne sais quoi. Because these, I often, and my designers will tell you, just, you think they're balls, but they're actually the gold plated silver crimp covers. Oh, sorry. Look at those while I grab my tweezers. Just those in between my obsidian would be beautiful. You know, just as like a little addition in between the gemstone there. And once they're closed up, you see, you think they're like the balls because they are the crimp covers, so they go over your crimp. But once they close, they've got this wonderful sphere-like luster. There you go. You see that? If I hold it like that, you think I'm just holding up a gold. You can't see the obsidian; it's so dark. A gold ball, as it were. But see that in between just adds that little bit of sparkle, doesn't it? 20 of these. 20 gold-plated sterling silver crimp beads. Yeah, no, I've got 50 in my bag, darling. I've got 2 bags. Have I got the wrong ones? I get 100. You do get 100, not 20. This is even better. That's all right. I was thinking, crikey, there's more than 20 in this bag, and I've got 2 bags. 100. So we could argue 100 crimp covers, but I think they're more than crimp covers. To me, when they're closed, they're 100 balls. Gold-plated silver crimp bead covers, or gold balls. 100. 14.95. 100 of them. So 14 pence each. And it's silver that is gold plated. That's the difference. That's the essence of the quality. So even if you just wanted to use them as little beaded, you know, these would look gorgeous to surround, you know, in the way in which, I mean, look what Sarah's done there in between a gemstone. Or to surround, and we'll get this technique, your framing of your bead frame, as it were, with Sarah. You could actually frame one of those gorgeous green pendants we had earlier. One of these gorgeous green. Frame those. Did you get those? The new strands, yeah. All right, let's get our green cultured pearls out as well, because they would look fantastic with this. 100 of those, 14.95. I'll scoop. You look at my gorgeous potato pearls. I've had them out a few times today, and they are delicious. They look great with those gold balls, as it were, or the crimp covers. They look lovely with those oval agates, as it were. Yeah, look at that. Didn't they look beautiful with it? Bub wire. Gorgeous with gold wire. This is beautiful with your pastels like Pyrite, rose quartz, citrine, lemon quartz. Again, I'm thinking the gorgeous silk golden sunshine sari. I'm thinking golden pearls. I'm thinking golden wire. Remember, this is a brand new strand. There's no reason why we can't use it with the pinks as well, because those opposite colours pop. Don't think just, you know, in terms of the average shades. Yeah, they really make each other pop. Beautiful, brand new, genuine pearls, apple greens. Think of, you know, your jade colours, prehnite colours, chrysoprase colours. Watty, watty, watty! Where's the ruler? The spanking is coming your way. This is ridiculous. Jump on that phone line right now, Sarah. Look away. It's going to hurt your feelings. Oh my word! $5.95. It's ridiculous. Real pearls. I know.
I love pearls
That's
as
not.
well.
I know, and the green ones for Christmas. Gorgeous.
Do you know what?
Buy 3.
The green and the peach pearl
Green and peach pearl.
together.
Oh.
Because if you're one of these people, because I know some people say, oh, I'm not a green person, I don't really want green, I don't, you know.
Nonsense.
But when you put it with something like a peach,
Yes.
it changes completely.
Do you know what I've seen recently? Because we're doing our lapis lazuli section. Van Cleef & Arpels, you know, another fantastic jeweller.
Yeah.
They're using lapis lazuli with, and it was dyed pearls, green pearls.
Yes.
And I think the other thing was diamonds. Okay, we haven't got the diamonds today. But, I mean, this is your austere, your fabulous Van Cleef & Arpels. But my goodness, it looked fantastic with lapis.
Yeah,
I would never have thought of it.
One other colour
Yeah.
can change a gemstone completely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm always the sort of person that says green is a great colour, because it doesn't matter what
good to be green.
floral it is, what floral colour you put with it, whether it be a yellow.
Floral's big again this winter, isn't it?
It
Floral
is.
inspired designs.
And there's a lot of quite sort of bright colours around this winter, which is
Yeah.
unusual.
Sort of the acid pop colours as well.
Yeah, so, you know, and just have it thinking, if you're making any floral type things, green's a great base colour to put all your floral designs on top of. But I actually like to do the twist and actually have the green as the centre of the flower. So with lots of amethyst, there we go again. But have the flowers made out of the amethyst and then pop that little bit of green in the centre, and it just really pops it.
Gorgeous. It's going like hotcakes, Sarah.
There you go.
We're loving that. We're loving the idea with amethyst. On to the next. What number, darling? Box number 17. Oh, these are just beautiful sterling silver flower beads with rose gold plating. And again, they really have got height. I'm going to just turn some over, whichever way you want to set them. And you get 10. They are like crowns. I've deliberately placed them upside down. So can you see the 5 points upwards like a crown? That's it from a front angle. Or upside down, because I want you to see underneath. Can you see that gable twist? Very David Yurman-like, but beautiful, whichever way you wish to set them. Like flower upwards or like crown. You get 10 of them. They're sterling silver with the rose gold plating. So pretty. They're brand new today. So they're my rose gold plated sterling silver rope edge bead caps. 5.5mm across, 10 of them. Again, it's ridiculous. Gorgeous with the green pearls. $6.95. Doesn't have to be the same size gem to cap it. It's a gorgeous interruption with precious metal to a beautiful gemstone strand. They'd be, oh, do you know what? I just want to put them on a rose gold shepherd hook and have a little, do you know what? I'd like to cap from the top of those just a little penduloke drop coming down. There's my little crown, little penduloke drop size gemstone. You know, something that's like a little pear cut with tanzanite would be beautiful. Sarah and I were eyeing up a scoopage of tanzanite, weren't we, for a ridiculous price?
We were. The prices in the shop here are silly. So yes.
They're amazing. What's the next one? All right, another strand for you. Beautiful. Brand new, and again, you know, as Sarah said earlier, get the kids involved, and these are a good size for them to be able to work with. I only say that because of the rainbow colour, because they're fun. And again, it's that if they are into their jewellery making, or we should get them into their jewellery making, this has got the fun element to it, the rainbow colour. Turquoise, gold, purple, pink, rose blush. I mean, just look at this one, striped like Candy Crush. And then purple, you can see the crackle, then there's a turquoise blue. They're sweetie colours, aren't they? Willy Wonka factory colours. And again, pretty with, I mean, those two colours there, that little bundle there matches the bundle of Sari silk that Sarah's working with, you know, the pink and the sea greens. But then you've got sort of reddish colours that went with the pomegranate, or that with the gold, you know, the gold colours there we're just talking about. The sunshine Sari that we've had, and the pomegranate colours, the pomegranate sunshine Sari duo. Lovely again with the macrame. They're fun, they're fabulous, they've got a fabulous array of colours there. YWGP 16, 120 carats, brand new, so get several of these. Lovely for just starting simply, a simple little stretchy bracelet or a little stretchy ring that they're gonna love. $6.95, or that little pop of colour for your macrame bracelet, or your Kumihimo, or tomorrow your soutache. Got so much brand new today, $6.95, and again selling like hotcakes because you're thinking about getting everybody involved this Christmas in the jewellery making. Gorgeous YWGP 16. Alrighty. Actually, I just mentioned those fabulous new crown caps. These are my rose gold plated sterling silver shepherd hook earring findings, but let me take them out because you can see they've got this extra deluxe edition at the front. Almost like a Celtic cross. How pretty. Let me just give that a little wiggle. How beautiful. Again, all snowflakes. A little bit of crackle quartz hanging down there. And you get 3 pairs. And you'll see on the side the 925 sterling silver insignia. It's there on the flattened edge there. You can just make out the numbers there. But it's rose gold plated 925 sterling silver. So again, there's your little connector side on, so we can hang chains, so we can hang gemstones around it, but as you can see, not drilled in any way. Now this is my rose quartz 70 carat drop cabochon, 4 by 3 centimeters, and there it is actually magnesite, 80 carats, the oval cabochon, and as you can see, forgive me, flat on the underside for the setting and laying against the skin on the neck or the wrist. So there are your 2 gems. We also have my satin cord pack. There's 10 to choose from. I'll lay all those out there. The vanilla and the blue that you saw in the design, lilac, ivory, rose pink, sort of like a coral, baby blue, the chartreuse green there, gold as it were, peachy there. Oh no, don't knock it off, Fiona. 10 of those, and on each spool there's 50 meters in total, so each spool has 5 meters. So each spool has 5 meters on it. So gorgeous to actually use the wire wrapping tool there to create that neckline, but we'll get to that in a moment. And then we've also got our gemstones, which create the framing itself. Now this is the one with the magnesite, the black rutilated quartz, faceted, so we're getting loads of luster on there as well. And that is 43 carats at the 4mm rounds. We then got my red and green agate, very Christmassy this round, in the 4mm rounds as well. Isn't that beautiful? It's like a traffic light, isn't it? We then got my jadeite, that lovely gentle apple green, and that is 45 carats. These are all 4mm rounds. My multicolored crackle quartz, which look lovely, which would look lovely with those ovals that we just had on that strand, didn't we? You know, all those colors, those bright colors there. So that's 4. So we can do beading with it, but we can also do beaded framing. And then my rose pink shell, frosted satin shell rounds as well. So 5 glorious strands, whether you want to use them together or separately, but we're thinking, you know, in terms of the magnesite there, the rose quartz, you know, you've got the pinks, but it goes so beautifully with the gentle greens as well. We can also give the colour of the magnesite a bit of pop of colour as well. So you've got 5 of those. So this is my Cabochon Dream Inspiration Designer Kit. And again, the individual price components of this kit, the 5 strands of those 4mm rounds, the 2 cabochon cut large gemstones, I mean 80 carat gem and a 70 carat rose quartz. That is a lot of gem quality for 2 individual pieces. And then 10 of the satin cords. You're looking at over £40 to buy these separately from our Jewellery Maker website. But not today. because here is your saving price. Yeah, so to create, and again, Sarah's only used a fraction, obviously both pendants because that's the main focal point, but plenty of cord left over, plenty of gemstones left over as well, because she's gone with the jade and the rutile quartz in her design, so I know she would have had 3 other gemstone strands, namely the shell, the agate, and the fruity ones there, the crackle quartz there as well. So under £30. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm going to take the designs over with me and we shall inspire you further how to frame your Cabochon gemstones with beads. Send any text as well on 60777 if there's nothing I'm asking that you're thinking is very pertinent to learning this technique or something that you'd like to find out. It's not about me, it's about you, and I try to ask the questions sometimes that I think you might be thinking of, but ultimately you think of much better things to say. So do text us in to Gem Studio and we'd be happy to help, or even if you just want to say hi to Sarah. Right, which would you like to start with, Sarah?
I don't honestly mind, I can do either. So it's completely up to you.
Well, shall we go with our rutilated and our magnesite?
That's absolutely fine. Before we start, I just want to say the choices I've made with the colours that I've used with the cabochons is not the limit of this kit. I mean, it goes so well together because you've got, if I've just laid out on the overhead, I've got the 2 strands here with the pink, and the pink's the sort of juicy fruity ones. They go beautifully together. Then you've got the 2 sort of green strands that go together. We've got the black and white which goes with everything, of course. Yeah. Now you could put that cabochon with that set and that cabochon with that. Or then we can just move it around and go, actually, you know what, we'll put the pinks and the greens and the tutti fruities together and it all works. So please, don't think that what I've done is the only colour choices, because it's definitely not. Okay, so to show you the technique to make the cabochon setting, I've chosen to use bigger beads because it's very difficult for me to show you a technique with monofilament and very fiddly beads live on TV. It's like
showing chainmail with your shower curtain rings is much easier than small jump rings.
So for everything I'm using, just imagine I'm using the smaller beads, and I'm going to give you the dimensions you need to make the cabochon setting, all the numbers of the beads. I've worked it all out for you, so you don't have any of that work to do. That was the headache I had last evening. Okay, so for both cabochons, the circumference of the cabochon is 30 beads. So it's the same for both, whether it be this one or the rose quartz, they're both the same. So whichever one you're using, you're going to use 30 beads to encase it. So that's the nice easy bit.
Well, it's 4 centimetres by 3 centimetres, so 30 beads, 30 millimetres. Makes sense.
Makes sense. I'm glad I got my maths right. Okay, and for this, I'm actually just going to make a smaller version. Okay, so I've just got 10 beads on here, and this technique is a type of peyote stitch, or a peyote stitch, and for that you need to have an even number of beads on your strands. So 30 is perfect, because 30 divided by 2 is 15. Yep. Or so my maths teacher told me once upon a time. And what I've done, if you imagine this would be enough beads to go around my cabochon, I've just threaded them on to a piece of monofilament. And what I prefer to do is, at this particular point, is to tie a knot so that these aren't running away. And this is going to be my base layer. So I'm just going to tie a little surgeon's knot in my monofilament, which is behaving itself today, which is useful, to create the base layer. And what I do with that piece of monofilament that's left, I mean, it's really tricky to see, there is a piece left over, is I cut it, but I cut it and leave a little tail, about 2 centimetres, tiny weeny tail. If I put my hand there, can you just see it? Oh, yeah. There it is, just a tiny weeny tail. And the reason I do that is if I just need to pull that knot tight for whatever reason, I've got something just to pull on. It shouldn't come undone, but just in case it decides it wants to slip, I've got something left to grab hold of and be able to tighten it up. So I've got my base layer, and I've got my monofilament coming out from between 2 beads. I'm going to add on there. This is why I'm using this board, because if you're using small beads, you'll always pick up with your needle, so rather than your fingers. It's just a lot easier, because you're trying to get your finger and thumb, and then you put your finger over the hole, and then you're trying to look for it, and it's just an absolute nightmare. So if you've got one of these mats, they're perfect for this. I'm going to add on a bead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over. I'm not going to go in the next bead, I'm going to go in the one after. So if you imagine, if I lay it on top of there, if I can see if I can get it to stay, it's going to go over the top of those 2 beads. So can you
so it's
see?
nestled in between the 2.
Yeah, it's just sitting on top of the 2.
See it, like a pyramid.
Yeah, so I'm going to miss the one it goes through and go through the next one. And just take your beading needle. Top tip for people with beading needles and monofilament, if you squish the edge of your monofilament with your flat nose pliers, it will go through the eye of the beading needle an awful lot easier. And just be careful when pulling the monofilament through that you don't pull too hard if you get stuck, because you can break the eye of your needle.
Right. And that's why we've got our lovely foam mat at the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah.
So we're not stunting the needle every time it goes down into the surface.
So what we're going to do is that's just going to pull across, and can you see, if I hold it up, it's sort of over the top of those 2 beads. And then what I'm going to do is take the next one and do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to miss one and go in the next one. Hopefully I get this right, because I'm trying to remember it last night. So I should end up, when I go round, 1, 2. No, I have done that wrong. I'm really sorry. I have done that wrong. I want to get this right for you. I'll just quickly go back. It's okay.
Have we missed too many there?
I have missed too many.
Okay.
It's me and trying to do it on live TV and remember too many things.
I want you to explain it again to me anyway, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we've gone in between the 2, like a pyramid.
That's it, yeah.
And then you've gone back through.
That's it, I'm going to miss one. That's where I've gone wrong.
Right.
Yay. That's my fault, I'm trying to rush things on live TV. Just take that back and I'll show you. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to go through, so I'm going to go up, back through the one next to it, but then I'm going to miss that one.
Then you're going to miss the next one.
Yes.
Got it.
So there we go, that's better. That's my fault, I'm terribly sorry, and I'll do it again. So I'm going to, it's coming out of this side of this bead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go in here.
So you missed that one.
Miss into this one, and then I'm going to go through this one.
So it'll always sit in the little neck of the 2 as
it will. And then I'm going to do the next one. Whoop. Come on you, not playing. Onto my bead needle. So back in. So it comes out, if I hold it up, it's coming out of this gap here. And I'm going to take the thread over the top of the bead and into the next hole, like so. And then it's going to come out, so I'm going to actually miss that bead completely because my needle's gone through it. Just need to pull my monofilament down. And you'll notice with the needle, the monofilament will come right to the back of your needle. If you just flick it up a little bit and then pull it, it'll slide a little bit easier. There we go. Because it wants to sit in that little nick down the bottom there, sorry.
Ah, that's a handy tip.
So it wants to sit there, but if you just slide it back up at the opposite direction, it will slide a lot easier.
Right.
All tips and sort of things I've learnt over the years of beading needles. So you're going to go round until you've got all your beads on. So I'm going to try and do that quickly. And you'll end up with 5 beads in your circle.
Or if we had 30,
15.
There we go. I like to state the obvious, if that's all right.
No, that's absolutely fine. Because the thing is, if you get this wrong, unfortunately, your cabochon won't sit properly, and that's not what I want to happen. No. So is it at the moment? I've got a little star. Oh, cute. Lovely. Christmas decoration.
Again, we're obsessed. Yes.
Yes. So I've got my little star, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called stepping up.
Stepping up.
Yeah. They've all got these strange terms, beading things. They've all got really weird terms for things. But basically what it means is I'm going to take my beading thread through the next bead. I'm going to go up into the next layer. So I'm going to go up into the point of my star.
The new ones that we just put
Yes.
Going into those.
Yeah. And what you want to do is make sure that your monofilament or whatever beading thread you're using is pulled tight at this point, because it's a one continuous loop. So you want to make sure it's pulled tight. And then I'm going to take my needle through. So I've stepped up into my point. And then I'm going to add a bead and go to my next point and thread through. So this is now going to create if you imagine, I'm going to create a double decker of these 10 beads.
It's gonna go across.
Yeah, when I pull all this tight, it will create that double decker effect. And that's what we need to create 2 layers like this for the bottom of, you see, if I start to pull that, it's starting to come up.
Yeah.
And it's going to create that double decker effect.
Yeah.
So if I pull it up, there we go, behaves itself. And if I let go, so now I'm going to add another bead and keep going round until we get right the way round. And then I'm going to show you quickly how, well, as quickly as I can, how to then create the increment that will hold the cabochon, because we need to, this will sit beautifully round the cabochon, but the cabochon would just fall out if we left it like this, because it's not tight on one side. It's not creating a smaller...
someone's just joined us, so I just want to point out as well that these are just we're using these beads for demonstration purposes only.
Yeah.
Of course, you get the 4mm rounds, which are the rose quartz, which are the rutiles, the jadeite, the crackle quartzes, and the red and green agate, the smaller ones that we've used here on the design. So Sarah's just using the pearls for demonstration purposes, because they're bigger and easier for us to see the demonstration.
Yeah, that's purely and simply. So I've got one more to go, and then I will have my second round. Okay. And I will go back through that original bead, yeah. And don't worry, the little beads, you can get three, 4 loops of beading, of monofilament through. So as you can see, now I've pulled that tight, we've got 2 layers.
Yes.
This is great for making bangles or really wide bracelets. It's a great technique for all of those sorts of things. So now I've got my base layer and I've got the layer that sits underneath. So if I turn this sideways, is that any good? I've got my base layer, which is the middle layer, and then I've got my, the one we've just done is the bottom layer. So it's the same size as the base layer. Okay. So that's what we've done so far.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to come into the realms of the tighter layer that's going to hold our cabochon.
So this inner layer here.
This inner layer here. Now what we're going to do on this is exactly the same as we did before. So we're going to add 5 beads, missing that bead, so to create our snowflake design like we did before. So we're going to do it, but we're going to finish. I'm just going to quickly tie a knot on this layer because I want to keep it tight, or tightish. And then I'm going to take my thread back down to my base layer. So this is my top one, and that's my base one, and I want to be working back on the other side of my base layer. I'm just going to take my thread, and yours will look really neat compared to mine because you're using smaller beads. So I'm now back and I've turned it, so my base layer is now on the top.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go around and add those 5 beads to create that snowflake effect again.
Which was the technique we used at the start.
Yes.
Right.
And then what I would do, I don't know if you want me to go around and do it again, but what I can talk you through it, is instead of adding each bead to create a layer that's the same size as my base layer, I missed out on the second layer, I missed out every other bead. So instead of adding 30 beads, I added the 15 to create that snowflake effect.
Yeah.
And then when I went to fill those in,
Yeah.
on every other one, I didn't add a bead.
So it became, so it shortened, it would be smaller.
By about 6 beads.
Yeah.
6 beads shorter. So
Yeah.
it pulls it in, it kind of corsets it around the cabochon. So I don't know if you want me to show that, or...
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Well,
shall we do that?
We've got time, darling.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah.
We'll do our star first.
Let's do our star. So we go in
In
and over.
this one.
This one. So we go through there. So we're creating that first snowflake petal. Oop. And again, I'm just going to move my monofilament down. There we go. Add another bead over the top of the bead we're coming out of, and then through the next one, like so. Add another bead. Ouch, try to put the needle in the end of your finger. They are sharp, and I'm used to embroidery needles which aren't, like cross-stitch needles. And that through. And you can just bend the beads to allow you to get the needle through. So if you just sort of push them to one side, they'll allow the needle to go through the ones in front or behind the one you're actually beading. So we go through the next one. And you can see once you've got the design, the actual beading is not particularly taxing, it's just knowing that you need to have those 30 beads on there to be able to do this. It's just because I've got to where my knot is, it doesn't want to behave itself. There we go. And one more. So then I'm going to go back through this one. There we go. Let me pull that through. Now what have you got caught on? So. It's gone and got itself in a tiswas.
It's a naughty bead misbehaving there.
It is a naughty bead misbehaving. There we go. And what I'm going to do is step up into that layer we just did, like so. And then, instead of adding a bead, I'm going to miss a bead and go into this one. And I do that on every other one on the way around this one.
Miss one, into
Miss
the next.
one. And can you see I've now, when I pull that,
Ah, yeah, it's closed in, isn't it?
it's closed in, it's gone more like an igloo.
Yeah.
It's got a sort of clumped into itself, more like an igloo. And then I would add a bead and then on the next one and miss one and then add a bead and miss one.
Gotcha.
So that's how we create that little nest.
Can we finish off just with a knot?
Yeah, you can finish this off with little knots and just take your tails back through several beads, another little knot, several beads. Make sure, because you spent an hour possibly beading it, you don't want it to come undone. And I'll just show you on the reverse how I created the reverse of it. You could create another little igloo type shape on the back if you wanted to, but I didn't on this because I wanted to show you a way that you can get a very flat piece, a very flat against the neckline. And I don't know how, oh there you go, look, you can see, can you see I've just got a little spider's web of monofilament.
Yeah.
And all I've done is gone under and over and round through all the beads and created that little spider's web, and that's holding that cabochon perfectly in there.
So you just slid that up from beneath.
Yeah, so once you've got your little sort of almost igloo shape, I put it so that I could put the cabochon into it flat. So I put it on my beading mat and put my cabochon in upside down. So if I do that on there. So I put my cabochon upside down inside that little nest of beads and then worked on it. And once you've got the first couple of layers of monofilament on, it works fine, it would be knotted in there. And then when I had just a tiny bit of monofilament left at the end, I took it back through to the front of my work and I went through the very centre bead and then added 6 beads and then through the centre back bead and added another 6 beads coming in the opposite direction, then hid my tail of my monofilament by knotting and hiding it into the back of the work.
And you've used the wire twisting tool, have you, for your
just
2 shades, the vanilla and
I'll show you how to do that because it's something a little bit different. There we go, I'll give you that one. Whoop. Pull that one back.
Thank you, darling.
And I just adapted my wire twister tool a tiny weeny bit. I'll show you what I mean. And you see I've just created 2 little loops of wire on the end there. So I can actually pop underneath my satin cord. So these 2 little loops here are for my satin cord to go in. What colours would you like? I didn't even pick.
Well, I do like this, it's like candy rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we do well, we have blue, so let's have pink. And let's be sure. Let's go pink and green.
Pink and green.
It just looks beautiful.
Yeah, why
We've
not?
got to be green this winter.
So just going to cut a length of each one. And to do this, it took about 2 meters, probably of each one. So I'll do a smaller version. So I'm going to take about 1 meter because what's going to happen is we're going to double it over and twist it, and then we're going to double it over again.
Right.
So you need quite a decent length. So that's the pink. Oh, come on you. And you've picked a beautiful colour.
Well, I was just thinking all the purple and the green would be beautiful. They're all just beautiful together,
They are.
The lovely sheen off them is gorgeous, isn't it?
I just love working with these. They're so beautiful and they just work so beautifully with each other. And it doesn't, with these packs of these satin cords, it really honestly doesn't matter which colours you pick, they all work. So what I'm going to do is take my cords through my adapted little loops on there and pull those. And what I want to do is get my tails together. So I'm just going to put that down Get these tails together. Now, glamorous assistant, I would normally tie this onto something, but I'm going to give it to you to hold.
Okie dokes. No, Linda uses the key of the door.
Yeah, I use my downstairs utility room door because it's on a long corridor, so I can do whatever length.
Now, the wire twisting tools should be on our website as well. I think we were trying to find the code for that.
Yep, so if you hold that end, so what I've got is I've now got my
oh, there we go.
We twist and twist and twist and twist and twist. So I'm just literally my little adaptions just so that I can get the satin in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, your scrap box of wire coming in handy.
Exactly.
So I'm gone until I've got quite a good twist. And what I would do is then take the middle, grab the two ends, and then allow that to twist. Oh. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's actually twisted back on itself. I don't know if I stand maybe with me behind it. I don't. Can you see it's all twisted back on itself?
Naturally just folded into itself, yeah.
It's like, you know when you get embroidery cotton and it's all twisted, or like even the Sari silk, it's all that really tight twist. This is how they achieve this. Now that's twisted, all I did was add ribbon clasp on either end and it won't come undone.
Gorgeous. On the ribbon ends that we often see in the kits as well, and we do have on our website.
So that's just a really sneaky way of doing
Top tip.
And I had a little bit left and I just tied a little knot in mine, so I thought I might be able to use that for a bracelet or a bag charm or whatever. I never throw anything away.
No, you do not. Very frugal.
Yes. So
beautiful.
That was a little bit that was left of mine.
Thank you. Don't forget to text any questions if you've got anything for Sarah today. Anything jewellery related, we don't mind, or if it is, you know, in terms of what we're showing you. If we could be helpful anyway, let us know. Right. But we're going to move on to our second demonstration. Again, we're not going to use the gemstones. We'll use the pendant, but we're going to use just for demonstration purposes, the larger pearl rounds. But in here you can see we've got the rose quartz as the pendant, and we've got the jadeite 4mm rounds. So that's what you get in your kit. You get 5 strands of the 4mm rounds, rutile quartz, jadeite, multicoloured crackle quartz, the green and red agate, and the shell, coral shell. So, well, it's more like a rose pink shell.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So we're going to show you this now.
And this was my son's choice of colours because I started doing this with the pearls, with the peachy pearls or the rose pearls. Yeah. And he said, "Mum, weren't you going to go a bit different and use the green with the pink?" So he made me undo it and do it again. So he's my best critic.
Good.
He always tells me if he likes something or if he doesn't like something, and he's normally right. Bless him. So what I've done is a simulation again. I've done it 3 times smaller. So you would have 30 beads on here, which is great because it's divisible by 5.
Right.
And that's the 5 spokes we're going to create with the beading thread. And so I've actually added 10, plus an extra one for, I always think it looks a bit like a turtle when it's sat that way. Little turtle.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Little turtle, a tortoise's shell. That's his little head down that way. There's a little head. So I've created a little circle. I've done this on beading thread. So this is the only thing I've actually added to the kit. It's beading thread and a couple of crimp covers and a clasp. That's literally all I've added along the way. And so what I've done is added the 10 beads on and an extra one just to pull it all together. So that's an 11th bead over both beading threads and a crimp.
Shall we get those crimps up again? We had, I don't know if you can get those pips. Sorry to interrupt you, Sarah. No. Can we get those crimp covers up? There was 100 of those crimp covers that we had that Sarah's got here. They were gold plated silver crimp covers. And that's, I know you've used your lobster claw in there because we often have these things in our stash, but I just thought, see, as we had them on the show today, I'll get those up at the bottom of the screen. There were 100 of them, weren't there?
Wow.
Yeah, I know, and they were sterling silver gold plated, so beautiful.
You can never have enough of those.
No.
Never. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken my beading thread, my satin, and I've taken it underneath the last of the 10 beads and just up next to the 11th one. So I've just literally taken it up there. Can you see? It's just literally coming out through that top of that last bead. And all I'm going to do is tie that on. This is just going to be the start of my...
it's like around the neck.
Yeah, almost just to one side
just
almost.
To one side,
yeah,
right,
like a jaunty angle. It's wearing a jaunty tie. And I'm just going to tie that in an overhand knot, and I'm going to leave that tail. The reason will come clear later. So what I'm going to do is on mine it was every 5th bead. Because I'm at 3 times smaller, it's going to be every 2 beads because I've got 10 on here. So I'm going to go around every 2 beads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beading thread, I'm going to create a loop over the top of my beads, and then I'm going to come with, I've got a darning needle on my satin. just makes it easier for threading it through the holes and things. And pretty much every household's got a darning needle, but no one darns. And it's my favourite tool at the moment when using satin thread. So I've got that on the end there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it underneath my beads and back up through the loop. So you can see I'm in that loop as well, and then I'm going to take it up to the top and bring it around. And I want that beading thread to catch in between those two beads like that to create a little loop. You see, I've got a little loop now. And then I'm going to pull that a little bit tighter. Don't worry, we will pull this back out in a minute when we come around. We're going to do another loop and that will pull that back out.
Okay.
So we're going to do it again, to create the loop, back under and through with your needle. So it's actually in that loop.
So you're going down 2, but for us we go down 5.
Yes.
Because we're going to do 6 times into 5 into 30,
Yeah, and then again, pull that round. So you can see I've already got the first 2 sort of bits of my tortoiseshell forming. Again, create the loop and your needle back through. And don't worry if it pops off like that, you just keep pushing it back where you need it to form, like so, and it will form. So you can see they're already coming. And then again, the loop, back through. And you can see this forms actually quite quickly. And then my loop, back through, and to the top, like so. So I get my hand out the way. Can you see I've got my first layer of tortoiseshell forming?
Yeah.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm just literally going to take that through and bring it back up here, just to anchor that top part up. Now what I'm going to do, when I come back round, I'm going to bring this round so it's facing me, is instead of going under the beads, I'm now going to, can you see, if I put my needle right there, can you see I've got a little cross?
Yeah.
I've folded up, there's a little cross just there of 2 threads. Move this one out of the way. 2 threads coming across here. What I'm going to do with my beading needle is I'm going to take that underneath both of those threads, like so. And can you see the next part's formed in the middle? If I hold it right up, there we go.
Something running parallel almost.
This is almost,
Yeah.
it kind of has a feel of a Viking weave type, that you're going under the loop and
So
round.
you're sort of following the design, aren't you, round again?
Yeah, and then under the loops and round. You can see it's starting to pull itself into the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Under the loops and round. And then I'm going to go around again. I'm going to go under the loops. Oops. Oh. And that's caught itself on my tails up here. Under there. And then you would just carry on going round until you've got whatever you wanted. And I put the cabochon underneath it, just to show you that when I put the cabochon under there, it won't fit because of course it's not the right size, but that would push out that nest to create sort of turtle shape effect.
So have you just gone around twice like that, darling?
I have done that 3 times on that one.
3 times?
Three
right.
times.
I was just looking.
Yeah, and you know, if you get your first loops quite tight,
Yeah.
you'll get more times round. So I've done the first ones, you can see they're almost a little bit loose on there. They're tighter than they are on my demo. But the tighter you get them to the beads, the outer diameter of beads, the more you'll actually get inside. So the more turns round you'll get because they will be smaller and closer to the beads.
Right.
So
and how come it gets smaller then into the middle?
Because you're actually coming round the loops instead of going round the outside. So you're actually sort of almost like forming a spider's web. If you ever see a spider going round, he goes round and round and round back in, doesn't he? But he's going over a smaller part, the inner circumference of the spokes. And that's what you're doing by crossing over. You're actually coming around and going through an inner diameter. You're actually coming into the inside as opposed to around the outside.
Right.
So that allows you to get that spider's web effect. And then what I did on the reverse is once I'd done that, is I came back up to so I did 3 full turns round, going underneath as I've done there. And then I came round to the back and I just tied off at the top. I'll just pop mine through the loop for now. So you would tie off at the top anyway. And you need to keep these tails here because they're going to form your bracelet. And then what I did was I just again, like the monofilament, I came across, but I actually, when I came across, I only sewed under where I'd already done the spider's webs. So, the turtle shell, because I wanted to keep the edges as neat as possible with as little satin showing on the edge of it. So I would come across, so if I put the bead in there so you can see, I literally came across, then went underneath and tied it in like so, and then I would come across to the next one, come underneath again like so. You go over my tails. You want to behave.
So we're not detracting from that little web-like.
And once as you can see, once I've got 2 in, I'm almost part way there, so even though it's not the right size to actually holding it in, it's not slipping around so much now. And what I would do is I would again use my foam mat to put this on my foam mat so it can allow it to sink in and hold everything, and then stitch it while it was in situ on your foam mat, so you wouldn't have it in the air like I've got, and you wouldn't be having to jiggle all the beads and the cabochon and everything else all together.
And it doesn't really matter how it ends up underneath, does it?
It doesn't. This tail that you've got coming off the top that I didn't cut off.
So it doesn't really matter because we're not going to see that.
I mean, what I would probably do at home, if I had some of the Soutache Ultra Suede or something like that, I could sew some of that underneath it. But I don't actually mind that. I think it's...
Let's face it, it's going to be worn like that, so who's looking at
the underneath? I know, I made it look a bit big actually, but it gives you the idea of how it would look, and I think it's beautiful. So the tail that we had at the top that came originally from our first knot, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, she's left that, how's she going to finish that off?
Where's that going?
Well, once you've actually sewn round and got your cabochon and everything else and all the pieces in there, you work your long tail, the one with your needle, to the bottom, and then take this one across the top, and what I did was I took it under a few of my threads, and I took the other one through a few of my threads, and I just tied a little knot and I put a dab of glue on there.
Ah, right.
And that's how I would finish that off. And you can hide your tails. I didn't cut the tails right at where the knot was. I took the tails back through underneath a few more strands and then cut it off. So they're a long way from the knot. So if the knot, for whatever reason, I have glued the knot, but should it possibly slip, it won't slip undone because there's plenty of length left on those tails.
Yes, yeah.
And it shouldn't slip undone because I used a surgeon's knot, and they're pretty good.
Show me a surgeon's knot.
Show you a surgeon's knot.
The larkwood head knot. What was the lark head knot? I learned that today. The lark head knot, which was your luggage knot.
Yes.
And then I presumed with our tiger tail, with our beading thread here, we just carry on
beading down
around.
And then what you would do at the other side, which I haven't done, is through the bottom 2 beads, you would take a piece of beading thread.
Yeah.
Then add on a few beads to create a little circle.
Ah, yeah.
And then, and then you can just take those 2 tails back through and
become one.
Yeah, literally create that.
Beautiful.
So that's your way your bracelet gets formed. And this is a really important, as far as I'm concerned, it's the knot I reach for most often when it comes.
Knot of life.
This is what I would use on monofilament, it's what I use on elastic, it's what I use on all those tricky things that we always find will want to come undone.
Yes.
And a surgeon's knot it's like an overhand knot. So you're going to take your threads and you're going to cross them.
I'm going to get a bit of this. I'm going to get it on the action here.
Come on.
Would you?
Yeah.
Just because by doing we learn, don't we?
We do. And it's
because otherwise I'll just go, yes, I get it. Then 2 minutes later I've forgotten. Right.
My son's had to do reef knots last night at Cubs.
I didn't have to do a reef knot either.
No, okay. So you take your tails and you cross them over. As if you were going to do an overhand knot. And then you're going to take your tail through the loop, like an overhand. So you've got an overhand knot now. And you take the tail back through again, through the loop. And if I show you the top of mine, can you see I've got like a spiral formed at the top there? You see like a spiral. And this is what's going to tighten up on itself. So I'm just going to, I'll put it over one of these so you can see. Whoop. Let me just quickly do mine again. Once, twice. There we go. And I'm just going to tie it onto there so you can see.
Yeah.
And then these will tighten right up Go on, tighten up you. And then I would do another one over the top. It's because I've only got one on there. One, and two. And that will not come undone without some work.
Really? And that is it? That is a surgeon's knot?
That's a surgeon's knot. That's the same knot. You see them, you know, when they've got a pair of forceps and they take the thread over twice and then they pull it back through.
There you go.
It's exactly the same one that you see them when they're sewing people up on those gruesome programmes on TV.
Lovely.
But that literally is, and you can see that it just tightens up on itself and then it just won't come undone.
The moms amongst us all know about that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Don't call the midwife.
those horrible programmes.
Well, there you go, surgeon's knot. And we've had a larkwood knot. Lark's head.
Lark's head
I want to
knot.
call it something else, the lark's head knot.
So that's how you do those. And they're really just a great knot for being able to sort of tie all those things together. Another top tip with the cabochon there is if you wanted to do the reverse, I'm just going to let you know that this uses 2/3, well nearly 3/4 of a strand of gemstones. So it's a bit gem heavy. So if you wanted to do the reverse, you need to use 2 different strands from the kit because you wouldn't have enough on one particular colour. So what I would do is I would create my base layer, the middle one of these 3.
Yes, because that's the one we started with, wasn't it? Yes.
So that's the one where we stranded a 30 on straight away.
Yes.
Do that in one colour and then do your star formation and your total fill of your star, so the 30 beads again in another colour, then bead back through and do your concertina layer in that opposite colour as well.
Right.
And then reverse it again on the back, so you're getting that coming in.
Yeah.
And you can carry on doing this. I mean, you can bead in another layer if you wanted to, literally by adding on again, as long as this is an even number on this layer.
Yes.
Going in, missing, adding a bead, missing one, adding a bead, missing one, adding a bead, missing one.
So totally encrusted, yeah.
And then on the next layer where you would fill in, again, miss a few out. So that would then bring it in again.
Yeah.
The way this technique normally works on a cabochon is that you'd have different size beads.
So yes, you go from 4 to 3 to 2.
Yeah, so your base layer would be one size, and then this layer where it's going to naturally come in, you would do it in a smaller size bead, so then your circumference would automatically be smaller. So the reason this is a bit of a cheat way of being able to do it with a single size bead.
Yeah.
So that's the way we'd be able to get around to that.
But that's great because that's what, you know, they're all the 4mm in there.
They are.
It's just nice because you don't always have the different sizes. We don't always have the different sizes. So.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Hopefully that will dispel some of the fears people have of beading cabochons. And this is a great technique for people who don't necessarily want to use wire.
Yes.
To be able to
wrap.
To cage these cabochons because they're so beautiful.
Yeah, you don't want to cover them up.
And we've had loads of them in kits recently.
Yes.
And so we've done lots of different techniques. And if you've liked this one, I've got another technique coming up hopefully on the 1st of December that will teach you how to do this cabochon wrapping but with Kumihimo. 2 different types of Kumihimo.
Oh, fantastic. And I could see it relating to the soutache, you know, if you had the frame, which we put behind anyway sometimes.
Yes, definitely. So it's these cabochons, I mean, they are just such a beautiful way to get a gemstone.
Yeah.
And by framing them in various different ways, you get the beauty from them. They're just so beautiful. So,
and they're very complimentary anyway, like you said, whichever direction you want to go in.
Yes.
I have some lovely text, Sarah. Louise and Devon said, could you do this with, well, she's picked a diamond-shaped cabochon, but I suppose any different shaped cabochon. Can you do it?
You can do it with any shaped cabochon.
Does the same rule apply?
Yes, and you need to, whatever size, so like with it would work exactly the same with the teardrop, except you would need to drop out at the teardrop, you would need to make sure you had a bead in there and dropped out elsewhere. So I've got a pen and paper, I normally draw everything. That's okay. So where the teardrop is, if you imagine...
I'll go get your pen and paper. I've got paper. I'll just borrow a pen. Can I borrow a pen? Here you are, I've got a pen here.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I normally draw everything out. I'm such a drawer.
I still want to launch my Imperial Topaz as well. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Explain.
Perfect. Okay, so if you imagine this is your teardrop shape. Okay, not a very good teardrop. So your beads are going to come round and you're automatically going to have a point bead. So you're going to bead around here. And as long as they're even, you can do your base layer and your layer on top. But what you need to make sure is that when you're coming round, that you drop out the bead here, because otherwise it's going to be trying to be in that point, and you won't be able to get the point to form beautifully. So you need to just drop that bead in between those two as you're doing it to carry on.
Right, for it to follow.
And the same with the diamond shape. You'll find when you've got your beads all around the top and round here, that you'll need, when you're coming to do your inside layer, you put your beads on, but you won't be able to fit one in there. There physically won't be enough room in between those. So if I do that really big, like that, and you're coming around to add your extra beads in, you physically haven't got space in there to get another bead in. So what you would do is just bead her across there and pull it tight.
There we go.
So it works the same with all different shapes. You just have to have a little bit more thought about how you get your concertina in
to pull
it in.
Yeah.
Either that or just to use 2 different size beads, if you've got them.
Yes, if you've got a little 2 millimeter there, or
if you've got the smaller beads, because when you're doing that base layer, the second layer where you're going to concertina in, you can use, for the snowflakes, 1 size bead, and then for the little beads that pop in between, you could use the really small 2 mil seed beads, because you're not then going to bead back through them again. So you don't need to worry about getting 2 layers of monofilament or 2 layers of Eslon if you're using the Eslon thread. You don't have to worry about getting 2 of those through. So you can end up with bigger than small, bigger than small. Yeah, and that will give you that effect as well of pulling that braid, that peyote stitch together.
Yeah, beautiful. Cool.
Hopefully I've explained it well.
I think it's very well, darling.
If
yes,
you haven't, please Facebook me. I will always answer you on Facebook. So don't worry about if you've got what you think is a silly question, because we all ask them.
No. I try to do my best asking those kind of questions.
Yeah, because I always ask silly questions.
The obvious ones I try to ask. Yeah.
And people have said it's not silly.
No,
it's a really
exactly
sensible
what I was
one.
thinking at home. Yeah, exactly. Let's get everything on that we had in the kit. We'll get it on the screen for you. Has it been tidied away? Oh, here it is, yeah.
Nope,
can't even see for looking.
Away.
I've got my Sari kit here as well. So these are the finished pieces that we've just explained, and we'll get these uploaded on our website as well. So we had our 2 Cabochon beautiful gemstones there, the magnesite and the rose quartz. Now the rose quartz was 70 carats, 4 by 3 centimeters, 30 millimeters, which is why we used the 30 of the beads. And then the white magnesite, 4 by 3 again, 80 carats. Then you had the 10 spools of the satin cord, which we love, 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 love. And all those gorgeous colours that you can see there, all the candy colours, they're like rainbow dust, aren't they, in terms of the colours? And there's 5 meters on each of those, so 50 in total. And then the gemstone strands. Now we've just used, for the purposes of our demonstration today, the large pearls, but of course in our designs we've got the rutile quartz that Sarah's used. We've got the jadeite. So the jadeite, you get 45 carats, 43 carats of the rutile quartz, 40 of the multicoloured crackle, and then 40 of the multicoloured, and then of the shell, carmine shell, the cerise pink, they're 4 millimeter rounds. So they're the 4 millimeter rounds. And as Sarah said, for one piece, if it's just to do the outer 3, your base, your tiers there, 1 strand's enough. But if you're going to tier the other side, it's best to use another strand of the 4 millimeters. It won't be enough.
Either, if you want to, I'm quite happy to mix and match mine. I don't necessarily want to have sort of the cake layers, if you like. I quite happily would mix the multicoloured quartz and the jadeite together and just randomly pick those up on my beading needle and give you that really random effect. But if you want to have that layered effect, again, because you're adding the beads in layers to the base layer, you'll be able to just add those and get that uniformity. So you'll end up having sort of 5 layers of beads in different formats.
So there's enough in the kit if you wish to do that.
There's absolutely tons in here. I mean, I didn't touch 3 of the strands because I wanted to sort of do them in the particular way I've done them, but and the strands just work so beautifully together. Please don't be afraid of mixing and matching those colours together like I showed, that they really do work beautifully together. I think the jadeite and the black and white together look amazing.
Yeah.
So you know, you've got so many different ways of putting these together, and again, you know, it was an obvious one to put black and white together. But I started off with the when I was doing this one, I actually started off with the peachy pearls, the pinky pearls.
The pinky pearls.
Yeah. So and then changed my mind, as is a designer's prerogative.
Exactly. Well, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now we're getting limited on stock on that kit, TWGC82. Fantastic demonstrations there from Sara about how we can frame using our gemstones. The actual, rather than just always wire wrapping, and a great use of the satin cord, which is so versatile anyway in so many formats, isn't it?
I know. I just love the way that came out. We just used that, and it's a tool I already had.
Twister, yeah.
So you know, if you haven't got your wire twister tool out for a while, grab that and have a go with the satin cords.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much, Sara. I know I'm going to leave you to your Sari silk.
I know.
And I've got my Imperial Topaz that I want to bring you. That was left over. This is amazing. Are you able to bring me up the code for that Imperial Topaz, Pip? You know, the one from the last section that I stole out the box and said I must do it. And I'll let you. You've got a little bit more time, my darling.
Okay.
And if we get any other questions, please don't stop your questions coming in.
No.
You know, we've still got over an hour yet, so if it's related or unrelated, you know, if you want to ask Sara something, text us into 60777 because we're here to help.
We are indeed.
We are indeed. Alrighty, come with me though in the meantime, and we'll see some more gorgeous designs from Sara at the end after the designer decides. Because I was obsessed with this Imperial Topaz. Oh my goodness, because I just know how rare it is. It's the most expensive of your topaz family. Of course, topaz is November's birthstone, and you've got, such colour. I mean, champagne golds, sherry colours there. It's your natural topaz, because topaz is all white, apart from Imperial Topaz with those sherry pinks, those gorgeous champagne colours. I mean, just look at those. They're like a fine vintage cognac. This is so, so rare. And so little comes out right now of the grounds in the Ouro Preto mines of, Portuguese. That means the black gold. You know, you usually have about 3 miners there a day. And after a couple of days, nothing. And it's well below the water table there. So they're constantly trying to drain of the water. So, you know, for worldwide demand, this is a very, very rare elite gem. Now the temporary spacer beads are included. They're not silver necessarily, but there's no reason why we can't use them. But it just gives an idea of how to separate those gems and see their luxurious beauty. And I do mean luxurious beauty. I've never seen Imperial Topaz nuggets as big as this ever. We've had some lovely frosted oval nuggets, on the show. These are the biggest I've ever seen. That's the truth of the matter. And on the strand itself, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. They are crying out to be a fantastic statement ring. I mean, I don't know anyone with an Imperial Topaz nugget as big as this. Little hints of pink, little hints of gold in there, sherry trifles, champagne effervescence in there. This is a beautiful strand, and I know that Pip, my producer, is gonna knock your socks off with the price. So we need to run to the phones. This is a big call to action. Never before have I seen so much Imperial Topaz on the screen for so little. This is chocolata. I know. Put with those gorgeous banded golds and cappuccino browns we have with the banded agates earlier. Isn't that absolutely ridiculous? $16.95. And what did I say again? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. On average, 18. So not even £1 each. Excuse me, the miners would have a fit. YCGK24, on average, you're going to get, 15 to 8. You'll get 180 carats. So there might be even bigger, there might be 15 of them, but, it happens to be 18 on this beautiful strand. And just look at that for colour. Look at that for sparkle. Look at that for, look at the depth of colour in that one. Oh my goodness, it's just gorgeous. They are glowing. Imperial, imperious, royal, rich, beautiful, rare, and a very rare price indeed of $16.95. I've never heard the likes. Oh my goodness, what would you do with the Imperial Topaz, Sara, if you were lucky enough to have it, my darling?
I would keep very, very simple.
Simple.
Really elegant, really classy. Pearl, clear quartz. Do you know what I'd love to put with it? Some of the white moonstone.
Oh yes, the white moonstone.
I just think that might just really add and give another lift of light and texture to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a beautiful gemstone,
isn't it?
I wouldn't really want to detract too much.
No,
from
I almost want to just put either gold spaces or proper silver space. I want to put preciousness with it because it's so precious, and just have it as is, because that is beautiful, isn't it? It's like you said, you don't want to over egg the pudding.
You don't, definitely not.
That is a beautiful brace. Those gold crimp covers.
Yes.
Gold plated crimp covers.
Yes.
I mean, I know they're crimp covers, but why can't we use those as balls?
And if you've got some of the heart chain as well, the gold plated, you know, sterling silver heart chain, if you've got those findings packs, just to add, you know, in between.
Yeah.
I just take it, you know, on the neckline, take it really simple, just a little bit chain, just really nice.
I'm loving it. Let's go make the jewellery. I've got some fantastic classic bundles still to come. I've got under £10. I've got my Lapis. I don't take it out. Well, I will, because I always confuse them. Look at this, beautiful. I'm only allowed to take out one because I confuse them all. La 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 la. And it all comes. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm confused because I never put them back in the right boxes, and that causes a kerfuffle. Look at this for beautiful Lapis coming up. I've got my under £10, and like I said, we've still got, I mean, just look at this little slice of heaven, this beautiful bundle. I'm obsessed with these. I'm thinking those with this, just the angularity in between. I know, we get very limited on the Imperial Topaz. Now that is, you just use a couple of those in between instead of a round space because of the angularity, the nuggets, that would be beautiful. But that is a fantastic strand bundle that I just think is sumptuous, gorgeous shapes, beautiful. This is, you've got to have that Imperial Topaz, limited stock. I've never seen a price so low for so much of such a rare gem, and I'm really not over exaggerating that. That's the truth of the matter. So I'm down to less than 20. Get on that phone line now. I'm sorry I'm sounding so bossy, but I just don't want you to miss out on it for $16.95. Jump on the phone line now. If you're on the web, well done. Whack in your basket, proceed straight to checkout so that you don't miss out, because it is sumptuous. I don't know anyone, not even on our sister channel, not even Mr. B upstairs, can you offer so much Imperial Topaz for so little. He's probably ready to run down here in a minute and give us a lecture to say, what are you doing with that price? I know it's crazy, the Pip Master, I can't help him. $6.95 YCGK24. I'm down to the last 10, so well done everybody. Fingers crossed you're going to be successful. If you run to the phone now, don't injure yourself, don't fall over the cap. I've got a lot more to bring you now in the next hour, and we've got our gorgeous collection with the designer decides as well, so don't go anywhere. I'll be back right up after this.
Join us on Jewellery Maker as we count down the days until Christmas. Stay tuned to see perfect Christmas gifts for all your friends and family at prices you won't believe. And what's more, anything you buy can be refunded or exchanged until the 31st of January. So for hassle-free shopping and great value, it has to be Jewellery Maker.
Here at Jewellery Maker, we have many stages of quality control, from lab tests all the way through to our own in-house gemologists. We're confident with our quality, but we want to give you that peace of mind by offering you a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Are you new to Jewellery Maker? Would you like to try a new hobby? Then why not give us a call on 0800 644 655 and we'll send you a free copy of our DVD and booklet to help you get started. You don't even need to make an order. Get involved with Jewellery Maker.
Tune into Jewellery Maker every day at 5 p.m. for our Miss It, Miss Out show, where we'll have 4 hours of jam-packed deals, including clearance offers, end of line, last in stock and low prices. The Miss It, Miss Out show, only on Jewellery Maker.
I'm in love with this bundle. You see, it hasn't left me. And we are going to give a big saving because we should be looking at well over £50 for this sumptuous bundle because there is gorgeous shell, the most amazing, flawless, clear-cut quartz, corner drilled, magnesite rounds. Oh, these gorgeous silver cubes there. You've got your frosted round black shell, crackle quartz, pyrite, and I think it could be onyx, but I'll double check because you can never tell with the black gems sometimes. But that should be looking at over £50. Sumptuous, 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 big savings. Gorgeous to go straight away and work with. And we've got the lapis as well, which I think would work beautifully with this next kit. Oh, now I love blue, so this has been created just for me by the gorgeous Philip, but just for you. Cool blue with a little breeze of gold and precious metals, because we're breaking all the rules. Don't forget mixing up those metals. What have we got? Well, look at these beauties for a start. Look at those. Yes, gold coloured hematite, 690 carats, 11mm rounds. We've also got those gorgeous midnight blue baroque pearls, so genuine pearls. I mean, really, straight away, those two, eye-catching, 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 don't you think? I mean, really, just, oh my word, capture the light. Added to that, the blue scales, the aluminium scales, 100 of those, approximately 22 by 13, so the smaller ones, so 100 of those. And they have a little film on them, so once you get them out, take off the little film and it gives you an almost mirror-like shine. So I don't think a lot of people know that. They think that's, but it's sort of, it is a protection of the coating there and the colour so that you don't lose the beauty. And then when they're in the packs, obviously they're all rustling around together. So when you take them out, just there's a little coating, a little fine film, just take it off and it gets even more reflective shine of those little scales there. Well, they're not that little, are they? But they're the smaller ones. And then we've got our threading materials, but look at the colour. Bright blue, elastic monofilament, and then the beading thread and a cobalt electric blue. So I was talking earlier about the beading thread bundle we did and the 2 lots of scoops, because you know often we have a lot of this thread left over and it's so versatile. Then we've got other beading materials as well. We've got 5 meters of the beautiful blue and the baby blue organza ribbon. We've got the wax cord in the silver and in the bright cobalt blue, and a pack of 100 sterling silver plated copper open 7mm jump rings. So yes, they can be used for the chain mail, but yes, they're lovely. It's decoratively just, you know, bunching a few together in between. So this week included because for attaching the scales, as it were. So yes, we can use them separately or for what they're intended, but for actually, and because that's why we've gone for the open, so they're already cut, so you can attach those scales, and 100 of those to match 100 of the scale mail as well, to create something absolutely sensational. The cool blue collection with the real pearls, the gold coloured hematite, the threading essentials. What, in terms of meter length, is it 5 meters, darling? Do you happen to know the meter length, or is it of the wax cord, darling? I know it's 5 of the ribbon in the blue and the baby blue. I'll just get that confirmed for you because I like to be able to let everybody know. So we bundled it all together to give you a lovely, lovely saving. Yeah, 5 meters, as I suspected, of the silver wax cord and the blue wax cord. And then you've got your essentials of your threading materials there, 100 of those silver plated copper jump rings and 100 of those aluminium blue scales. Over £30 to buy this beautiful bundle-licious gorgeousness. And of course, we're inspiring you in a designer way in terms of what we've incorporated in this bundle, you know, in the way in which it all goes. But of course, you can take this to in other directions, you know, add to your stash. Because you know, when we bundle, it's big savings. So not going to be over £30 for you today. GSGC28. All I want to add to this is some gorgeous lapis coming up on the show, yeah. Brand new today, only for today, back to the original price of over £30 tomorrow. 1990 1995, over £10 saving for our cool blue collection. That is an amazing deal. I love those together. The scale, have you tried the scale mail?
I have.
You have. Do you like the scale mail?
I do. I'm working on stamping on it at the moment.
Stamping on it?
With the letter stamps.
Oh, exciting.
And also distressing it.
Oh.
Distressing them. So I've been using sandpaper on them and distressing the actual coating and things like that. With the stamping. So there's lots you can do with them, as well as making the typical bib style necklaces and things like that. But
so eye-catching, isn't it?
There's so many things you can do with them, and I made a beautiful pair of peacock earrings. They're like peacock feathers.
So jealous.
No, I love them.
I want those. Peacock earrings?
Yeah, they're really sort of Christmas tree green, almost as green as your face yesterday.
Oh, as green as my face yesterday.
And
green now.
And blue together, and they really toned each other together. They really toned into each other, and they were on those, you know, these chandelier earring findings we used to do in the kits a long time ago.
It gets even better.
I know, lovely.
Oh, there's no good tempting me with that. I am green with envy, it's official now. 1995, getting very limited. Well, I'm going to have to just go away and make my own, quite frankly. Oh, can't believe she made those and kept them all to herself. 1995, right, darling. I would love to, and it was down here, and now it's all gone. Who moved the lapis? Peter? Darling, what have you done with it? It was an entire box. I moved around to talk to Sara, and then it's gone.
It wasn't me. I was here.
Good. Well, there's lots in here, but there's no lapis. There's loads of beautiful strands. But can I have... Thank you. The lapis fairy has arrived. Thank you, darling.
I, the lapis fairy.
As he shall hereby be known as. As long as we don't put him on top of the trees, all right. Right, lapis fairy. Shall I go with number 1? Pray to the lapis fairy and he shall giveth. Number 1. Here we have, oh, now I'm thinking of those rose gold shepherd hooks. Do you remember the little snowflake on the front? I mean, just 2 of these, and you will find 2 the same sort of size. Look at this beautiful gemstone. These are my pear drops. Now, this is, the word lapis is actually the Latin word for stone, and the name lazuli and lazurite, because lazurite is a different mineral, different type. It's not the gemstone. They're derived from the Persian lazu word and the Latin lazulum, which both mean blue or heaven. And as a result, lapis lazuli, sometimes called lapis, was born and mentioned as far back as 2650 BC. And just look at the sparkle on these and the way those drops have been unlocked. I mean, this is a gem that you find in the ancient sarcophagus, if I can say it. Excuse you, bless you. Tutankhamun. Yes, and there was a thriving trade for beautiful lapis in the earliest 4th millennium BC. So it's been around for centuries, but first introduced to Europe, it was called ultramarinum, which means beyond the sea. It was often powdered into a pigment and mixed with oil and used in the Renaissance paintings, Leonardo da Vinci's paintings. And then about 1828, they could manufacture it synthetically, so they didn't put it in the paintings then. But originally it was. So this gorgeous, gorgeous gem. Geographically, we get a lot from Afghanistan now, but look at those drops, those rich blues, the ultramarine, they're heavenly blues, and the tiny micro inclusions of your pyrite in there add sparkle, add sumptuousness. And wouldn't that work beautifully with our kit, Cool Blue, the Cool Blue collection? Just 2 droplets for a pair of earrings. Yeah, are you ready for 165 carats of sumptuous Renaissance blue? LKG K51, brand new, $14.95. Oh my goodness, the luxury, the sparkle, the beauty. Have a little look on our gem focus here. Now, we mine a lot of ours in the Kocha Valley. It's also where we get the kunzite from in Baghdadistan for over 7,000 years. 7,000 years, we're still in the same place, sourcing this sumptuous gem because of the quality that we're able to bring you. Let's move on to another one because I want to bring you as many as possible. The flat drops, the donuts. Who do what? I've got them. They're like flat drops, but they're twisty. Swirly pears. Thank you, darling. I misheard. I thought you were telling me Sloaney pears. I thought, yeah, oh yeah. I thought Sloaney pears. Oh. Yeah, Sloan. No, lapis lazuli swirly pears. 220 carats. Wonderful. So this is your, lapis lazuli is, part of its component is lazurite, pyrite and calcite. Several minerals, materials, giving us those flecks of pyrites, adding to the mystical allure of this brand new strand. Your finest lapis lazuli we can bring you is of this dark blue colour. And obviously cutting of them is the most important consideration. So creating this swirly pear, it's very, very royal. It's very Kate Middleton, isn't it? In terms of those royal blues. And this is why it works so good with your pyrite, which I happen to have in that bundle. So let me just introduce it to you, because that's the little flecks in there. Yeah. I mean, it just goes so beautifully with so much. Yeah. Beautiful. Look at that. Brand new strand, and just do consider that dark blue, that royal blue, the mystical allure of this gorgeous lapis lazuli, the gem of ancient wisdom and divine favour. And I can't say it will cure it, but this time of the year it's supposed to be good for a sore throat if you're into the metaphysical side of your gems. Well, you should wear a bit of lapis, Ollie, if you've got a sore throat. Oh, sorry, darling. Sorry, Ben. Sorry, sweetheart. I don't know who's sitting in that chair half the time. It's a faceless person behind a dark wall. I can't tell. It's just the voice beyond the wall there. Sorry, sweetie. You'd think I would have distinguished by now, wouldn't you? PYG P92, brand new for you, and a brand new saving price of, I know, in our Gem Focus, $9.95. And I was saying earlier to the gorgeous Sara how we've seen a lot of amazing designs recently in the House of Van Cleef and Arpels, mixed with a pearl and dyed pearl and diamond and green pearl. Do you remember those green potato pearls we had earlier for $5.95? I say it with some edge in my voice because naughty Pip put them on for $5.95, so I'll never forget that. And also mixing it in with, I don't know if I've got any, no, I haven't at the moment, aventurine, mixing it in with the greens of aventurine. That is a very big look right now for these incredible designs in silver and gold. But just because, as Sara said earlier, these gems, don't be afraid to mix it up a little bit. Let's move on. The Lapis Fairy giveth, so I want to give to you another brand new strand. I'm going to pick up corner drilled white quartz. This is in that bundle coming up. This is why you have to get it. And corner drilled white crackle quartz with my corner drilled lapis diamonds. Smoking. It's got to be done, isn't it? SDGP 65. Really condensed. I'm just going with the corner drilled, but they're cuboid. And these are kind of like flat. Well, not flat because they're puffy, aren't they? But they really show your sparkle, your heavenly sparkle. Now, the Romans used this as a reward for bravery. They also believed it to be, and close your ears, the young folks amongst you, a powerful aphrodisiac. I know, those naughty Romans. And they liked it in their amulets and their talismans. Ryan, you can take your hands off your ears now. You're all right, love. And they used it with, instead of sapphire, instead of the corundum sapphire, because obviously that wasn't around as much or very little of it. This was the modern day sapphire of Roman times. So it was inlaid in a lot of Roman jewellery and Grecian jewellery, and a reward for bravery. So a good one for the fellas. And a cheeky little aphrodisiac on the side. Well, they're not to know that, are they? Oh. I can't promise that, folks, but what I can promise at you is a naughty prize from the Pipster. Come on, my darling. Oh! The Lapis Fairy giveth $4.95. There is massive savings for the Lapis there. He has literally flown down and is giving you this gift from the heavens. That's what the Lapis Fairy has delivered. Well, it is ultramarinum from beyond the sea, but also from lazuli, meaning blue or heavenly. And there is nothing more heavenly than that offer of $4.95 right now. So please, please, please make sure you don't miss out. One more cheeky fairy for you. Gosh, loads you on the phone there. Please don't miss out. Buy several, you know, get 4 or 5. £5 a strand. That was a cheeky little offer today for our gem focus on the lapis. Okay, and I want to bring, that's so bizarre. You're like Mystic Meg. My hand was on that strand. Do you know what I mean? Simpatico. Do you know what I mean? It was the shape. It was the shape that Pip wants to do, and I had my hand on because I just love them. And again, I'm thinking the crackle, but I'm also thinking in that bundle we've got these unusual faceted pyrites that work so well with those faceted angular beads as well of the lapis. Isn't that beautiful together? What do you think? Yeah, Sarah's gurning. That's how much she loves those.
They are. They're a match.
They're worth a gurn.
They are worth a gurn.
Give us a gurn. Oh. Here's mine. You've got to gurn at beautifulness, haven't you?
Well, you've got to.
If you're gurning at home right now, HGGP37, you need to be on that phone line, 0800 644 655, because it's the last of the Lapis Fairy gifts from the gods, from the heavens. The most royal of the blue there, the quality, the cutting is also of consideration. Try it out. Here is your saving. I know. We only deal in real gemstones, top gem quality. And on that strand alone, again, it's only a Fifi guesstimate, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There's over 45 lapises from the gods there. And 6, a beautiful cut, and so beautiful with the pyrite out of that sumptuous bundle there. So if you're thinking, I like that mix, that is coming up in a minute with, you know, should be over £50 that bundle, but big savings. Big savings. Gorgeous. That's the last of my gem focus on the lapis lazuli today. With a nod to the fantastic jewellers Van Cleef & Arpels, but of course, as Sarah said, this means so much more when you make it yourself. The savings are there when you make it yourself. And, you know, we can emulate the designs in our own creations. Alrighty, this beautiful bundle is coming up, but bundleliciousness. Pink, we had blue, wasn't just for the boys though, that's my favourite colour. Let's bring you, oh I like that. I like that, bring it back again, I liked it. It's very psychedelic. Pow, 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 pow. Put the big guns away, because the big guns are out. I'm liking that. Let's bring some fruity pinks, because Sarah was getting the kids involved and she said, you know, the bigger gems are easier for them to work with, but we've got great threading materials in this bundle as well. So boys or girls, doesn't matter, this is for you. So great stocking fillers, you know, great fillers to boost up your kit, as it were. So what have we got? The gems, I mean, just look at these, aren't they gorgeous? Look at those bright coloured, bright pinks. If I put them down, you can see the colours a bit better there, can't you? These are my bright crackled agates, as it were, in, you know, raspberry pinks, lovely greens there as well. I want that white surface to shine through so you can just see those beautiful colours. Almost caramel golds in there as well. So this is my stocking filler, pretty in pink with a feminine touch. And I'll get the caraway up for you. So regular sort of polished nuggets, as it were. And we've also got the pop of our bright, I mean, look at those for colours as well. Aren't they beautiful? They are my rounds. These are 170 carats of the multicoloured agate 8mm rounds, and of the crackle quartz you have 240 carats. So it's a jamboree, a cacophony of colour and light. Plus my beading materials in the rose gold, almost like a coppery gold beading thread, lovely bright pink to make the boys wink, elastic, and the monofilament. Then we've got 10 of those beautiful bright pink organza bags, plus you get your purple one anyway. 10 of those for presentation or gift ideas or little, when she's trying to give cards out, or your little daughter or your son, gifts for teacher, gift for the friends, and it can all get a bit costly, quite frankly, or the birthday present sort of gifts. These are just great. You could even just make a little one for every day of the advent calendar. Do you know what I mean? Just a little gift there. But 10 of those anyway. And birthdays close to Christmas, of course, can prove a costly time of year, as we know. So this is what's so great about our stocking fillers. You've got the bright pink 5 meters, the baby pink 5 meters of organza ribbon. We've got that beautiful cord, satin cord in the pink and the ivory, 5 meters there of each. And sorry, I forgot, we've also got the purple organza ribbon as well. So it's all in there. It's all in there. It's a great bundle. Oh my goodness, it's a giveaway. Buy it for your daughter, for your son, whoever. Buy it for yourself. $12.95. I'd pay that just for 2 strands. And then I'm getting all the ribbon and the cord and the threading materials. Isn't that beautiful? Look at those colours, the brightness of them. How pretty they are. And if I pop those down, and then the pop of those colours as well. Gorgeous. They are like Willy Wonka sweets, aren't they? I mean, if I put them there, you can really see the colour pop against the white background there. Yeah? Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous strands. Beautiful. So there are your 2 strands anyway. 310 carats totally. This one I'm holding 240 carats, 170. So that should be $12.95 just for those 2 anyway. But on top of that, aside from the strands, we've got the threading, we've got the bags, we've got all the cord, 5 meters, and we've had some lovely twisty techniques with Sara as well, and then the ribbons for $12.95. Great stocking filler, and 10 organza bags. Loads of these flying out, because that makes sense for a stocking filler. 10 organza pink bags in there, 2 strands, pink elastic, stretchy elastic. The kids will have great fun. You've got the satin cord from Monochrome. You've got the actual gemstones, which are fun. And, as Sara said earlier, which is a very valid point, I hadn't really thought about it, but, they can get fed up with the smaller gems. They want bigger ones to work with, easy to work with if they're a bit younger. So for $12.95, not costing an arm and a leg. But again, we don't even have to be buying it for the little folk. It could be just to extend your stash, as it were. Yeah, absolutely. Shall we do some under £10? Let's do it. Let's do it, darling. I'm going to give Peter, there you are, my darling, just move those out of the way. Now, this is especially for me. It has to be Botswana. Yeah, baby. Oh, brand new, graduated Botswana agate. Life couldn't get any better, quite frankly. Goodbye, everybody. Look at these. Do you see that? Sorry, I'm just going to put it to the neck. That's a necklace ready to go. See, it's graduated. All the different lovely colours. It's a ready-made necklace. All you need to do is restrand with a gold clasp. Botswana goes with everything. You could mix it up with a little bit of pink if you want to, or a bit of smoky quartz, it doesn't matter. Botswana goes with everything, and it is the most beautiful, gorgeous with golds. I'm just thinking of the gold Sari silk from earlier. Just look at these colours. Look at the intricacy of the waves of this gem and its patterning. How beautiful. Look how every single one is an absolute beauty. Rose hip pink, silver white. Look at that one, chocolate brown. Look at the patterning. 6 up to as big as 14 millimeters. Feather-like striations there. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the strawberry reds. That was a Botswana necklace ready to rock and roll. $8.95. Christmas has arrived already as far as I'm concerned. LMGP 62. Tremendous. Just crazy. You like the gold one? There's some strawberry ones in there as well, aren't there? Yeah. Beautiful. The big ones are gorgeous orbs. They're all beautiful. Who am I kidding? I love them all. And that is a ready-made necklace, you know, for $8.95. The beauty is exceptional. And let's face it, this is a brand new strand. We've got the difference of the gemstones 6 up to 14, so that's great. On to the next one. One for Sarah. Gold, copper as it were, for Kumihimo. For the Kumihimo. Oh, fantastic. 26 pieces. I'm just getting out the little bells. Your Kumihimo. So we've got my toggles, my bails as it were, my ends, you know, to finish off your Kumihimo projects as it were. They're lovely. So you can see they're a lot wider for your fastenings as it were. It's your gold flash copper, 25 of those. How about describe that right, Sarah?
Yes, the little caps there are for the end of your braid,
Yeah.
and then you've got those little sort of bails which go over the braid, and you need to put those on before you put the second of the caps on the end of the braid, otherwise they won't fit on. And then you've got your toggles and your jump rings all in there, all matching perfectly. And you just glue those onto the end of your braid.
Ah, fantastic.
So really easy, really professional look.
Could we use it with our sari?
You could, the bigger ones definitely.
Yeah.
Because you actually, when you bind it down, like when I bound it with the wire,
Yeah.
if you bind it with monofilament or something very fine, like some household cotton,
Yeah.
bind it up really tight, then chop off just near the bind, and you'll find that all those sari silk ends will fit in the larger one of those. Well, they should do.
Ah, there we go. So not just for your Kumihimo, we can also use this for our sari silk as well. So let's bring up a code, EFAZ00. Let's bring up a price, I should say, rather. And it's gold flash, so it is the gold plate. It's just a different micron thickness over the copper, as it were. Under £9. You've got your toggles in there as well. So there's, let me just count, 4 toggles. 4 of the cylinders sort of, and then the caps as well. You've got 8 of those, and of, how many of those? 4, 8, and then 10 of sort of the bail rings as it were. Gorgeous, great stuff. All right, let's bring out some more. Oh, we were just talking about this with, actually not just Botswana, I know I'm obsessed, but the Imperial Topaz. It was your suggestion, Sarah, wasn't it?
Yes.
Let me just, I haven't got that to hand now, but well done if you got that. I think Sarah's bang on the money there. Bang on the money. I mean, just show you, it does look amazing with Botswana as well. But if you think about those colours we had in that Imperial Topaz strand, there were sort of almost like a brandy colour, and then there were white colours, weren't there, as well? But as you said, it was going to add texture. You were going to have that angular essence.
Yeah, just
another depth.
it's just when you get different light plates from different gemstones, whether it be that one's faceted and one's plain, and they just play off each other.
Don't they
but
just?
others, you know, when you get other properties, you know, you get the different light properties coming from different gemstones, like labradorite and moonstone. You get those properties coming through. They really add, because if you make a piece of jewellery of one particular gemstone all on its own, and whether it be one, and then you add one of those instead in just 1 or 2 different places, it just lifts it. Instead of it being a block of colour, it just changes that, and it almost is like you're popping little bits of, putting little light bulbs in.
Little light bulbs, I like that description. Putting little light bulbs in. And that's what's so beautiful about the strand, is because it's not one block of colour. You've got peach to the gold to the silver, to almost like a honey gold, and that's what you had in your Imperial Topaz, wasn't it? There was honey, there was a champagne, there was a white effervescence in there. CGS F66, Sarah knows. So this is what she chose to go. If you've got the Imperial Topaz, promise me. Because the thing is as well, if you put that with it, and if you don't agree with myself or Sarah, you know, oh, look at that angular essence. You've got your 31-day money back, sorry, no, to the 31st of January, I meant to say. Money back guarantees. If you're thinking, I mean, that's a whole 2 months to think about that. A whole 2 months to think, doesn't it? I don't think it's going to take 2 months to decide. You'll know straight away, but we've already made the decision for you there. So let's bring you a fantastic price for the multicoloured moonstone. Oh, Chimakuchi, $8.95. That was the colour of the moon last night. It was huge. There was a man in the moon. It was the colour of cheese. Oh, look at that. That was the colour. Look at the angular essence there. It's beautiful. And I've had a request, an unnamed text, was it? To do this. Botswana! Because, quite frankly, it goes beautifully with the Botswana. Tell me that doesn't work. I might as well give up my day job if I'm getting it that wrong. Look at that. That is heaven. You can get that Botswana. It can be yours. But in the meantime, make sure you don't miss out on the moonstone. Well done if you got that with your imperial topaz. That's such a bargain for $8.95. You naughty pipster, naughty boy. Beautiful. I need some gin. I need some gin. I'm going to bring you another bundle of my silver cube collection. The cubes. And we've got 2 different sizes. I love these because, you know, if the moonstone is like a light bulb, then these are, well, like little stars. So we've got our light bulb. These are your stars. Look at these, the 2 different sizes. And look how many are getting, millions of trillions of thousands of them. You've got the silver flash fantastic faceted cubes. Oh, and again, I'm thinking with the angular, those ones would be perfect. Do you remember the last strand of lapis that I did? It was all sort of the irregular faceted round, wasn't it? Or with my white, you know, this and this. And then you use those as your spaces. Oh, that's all going to work beautifully, isn't it? Massive saving on that bundle. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to do that there and you can see it a bit better, can't you? So, oh my goodness, how many are we getting? Fantastic faceted cubes, 2 different sizes there. About 3mm and 5mm, I would say. And again, a real beautiful splash of essence of luxury, of colour. It's your silver flash, so again, it's silver plating, but to a different micron thickness. So we distinguish between flash and plating, just a little bit less in terms of the micron thickness, but that gives us greater affordability. So I think it's actually to be 2 mil. We've got how many, darling? 395, and of the 3.5, looks a bit bigger than that to me, but there you go. 72. So 72 and how many was it? I've already forgotten. 395 and 72. 467. 467 silver flash faceted cubes. Just goodness gracious. 395 of the wee ones. Don't want to count those again. And 72 of the big uns. Let's do it. Oh my heavens. 467 pieces. For $7.95, all coated with your silver there. DYGC51, have you jumped on that phone line? I do hope so. Well done on the web. Because there's that flash of silver in your designs. That would be beautiful with this bundle coming up, the monochromatic bundle, and the lapis, and you know, we can use the bigger ones, you know, and wire wrapping around our Sari silk beads, you know, wire. Oh, there's the possibilities are endless, quite frankly. Yeah, 467 for $7.95. It is my silver flash deal. Fantastic deal. Again, not just a stocking filler, this is a stock filler, quite frankly, to fill up your stock drawer there. Under £8, brand new today. So you must get phoning on the free phone number 0800 644 655 to be in with a chance. Flash! Ah! It's a silver flash deal. It'll be here, it'll be gone. Have you taken part? Loadsy on the phone line there. Don't miss out. All right, Pipster. I'm aware that we have to catch up with Sara as well. Okay, let's go on. Let's get some more in for you today. And tomorrow, don't forget, we're concentrating on the soutache and beading tomorrow. Box number 4, darling. Okay. It's all beautiful down there. It's all beautiful. Now, gold plated 925 sterling silver. So this is your real high-end quality. This is what you put with your imperial topaz. This is what you put with that beautiful moonstone strand, because you know something as precious as that imperial topaz has to be with your gold-plated silver, doesn't it? And you've got jump rings, the bolt ring clasps, the crimps, the eye pins there, the head pins. You've basically got 41 pieces. Yeah. So there's loads. I won't take them all out, but just to give you a flavour of the gold there. So let me take you through, because it's 41 pieces. You get 3 bolt ring clasps. You get 10 of the 4 centimetre with a 2mm ball head pin. You get 2 pairs of the shepherd hook earrings. You get 10 of your 4 centimetre gold plated silver eye pins. You get, how many of the crimps do you get? Is it 10? It's usually 10, isn't it? Yeah, 10 is on the 10. You get 3 of the large, I think they look to me about 9mm, but I think they're 5 and 8 actually. So you get 3 of the 8mm, 3 of the 5mm, so 41 pieces in total. We'll get the slide up for you so you can see that as well. There we go, that counts up to 41. This is naughty Pipster. This is gold plated silver. This is the premium findings that should be $14.95. But for you, for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be naughty. You've got to get it now the next 20 minutes. Otherwise, it'll be back to $14.95. I'd get 2 because the saving is tremendous. $9.95. That's £5 towards my mega bundle there. £5 towards the Sari silk kit. £5 towards another gold-plated sterling silver findings pack. So then you're only paying a £5 to get 2. Only for the next 20 minutes. $9.95 QLSZ30 for the next 20 minutes. It'll be $9.95. Then boom, ba, boom, yakasha. It's back to $14.95 at 5 o'clock. So whatever you do, don't miss out. Call the free phone number right now. £5 off. You know, that's a big saving. We're getting our silver, we're getting our gold, we're getting our quality. It's all in there for us. You've got to make sure that you're getting them though. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out on the deals. Box number, darling. Box number 12. So much. 41 pieces there. Okay. Let's see if I can get that all back in there. There's a cheeky. We don't want to leave my gold and silver anywhere. Oh, rainbow coated golden quartz. Sparkle. Look at those. Looks beautiful because you see a rainbow of light across a gold shimmer. Do you know what it reminds me of? The once available Paparaja sapphires of Sri Lanka. It's as close as you'll get to that colour. You know, that gold infusion with a pink and a peach that those sapphires are infamous for. And although we couldn't get it in these large carat weights, and although, you know, the Paparaja sapphires of Sri Lanka are extremely rare and extremely expensive, let's emulate that, but have it in a real gem, in our rainbow champagne quartz, 170 carats. Look at the way they light up. You see the effervescence, the energy in there. Gorgeous texture, you know, outside in terms of the nugget shapes, but also internally, the crystal reflects the light there. Isn't that beautiful? It is like a gorgeous light show. More light bulbs for Sara. CSG K34, 170 carats. I know, $8.95. Ridiculous, but hey, I can't stop the pipster, he's on a roll. That with your gold-plated silver findings. Look at the light emanating through, and again, oh, the gold sari silk. Mix it in with the pomegranate. That is perfection because you've got the pink and the gold there. They were meant to be. That was our sunshine and pomegranate sari silk. We'll try and readdress those codes for you at the end, but you can just ask the call centre as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Next up we have, I'm trying to fit as much as I can, Amazonite. Beautiful Amazonite. And again, this goes with the sari silk, because remember, there was the pomegranate, the sunshine, there was the sea blues and the candy pinks, and the sea blues has to be the Amazonite. Again, beautiful if you mix this in with your lapis. Beautiful as well with your pyrites. Yeah, very vintagey as well, isn't it? Very 50s there in terms of a designer look. Again, with the matte whites as well, that bundle coming up. Gorgeous with the reflection of the greens, because anything that is seafaring, beautiful, because it will pick up the colours. You know, things like the greens, the rainbow colours that you get in there, in your shell and in your abalone. Beautiful, wouldn't it be, with the Amazonite there? These are brand new today. 190 carats EEG P40. Pure natural and gorgeous with the gold. Those gold finies that you just got, beautiful. $9.95, under 10 pounds. But that's sari silk Sarah's working with, the sea blue green. This would. Could I just borrow a bit, darling?
Oh, you want to borrow
this?
Yeah,
just to show, because I know where we're going to address this at the end. But just look, tell me that goes. Tell me you love that. Meant to be. Tell me you love me. I love you. $9.95. Okay. There we go. Oh, hold on a minute. We've got to stay with me sari ball for Sari Sarah. And there's the Amazonite. Now look. Oh, what we could have done if we'd given these to Sarah.
Oh no.
But we're mean. She couldn't have these until now. We do love you, but the designer decides she can only have 3. I know. How beautiful would that be? Oh, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. This now is my collector's choice high-end aquamarine. I don't think I've ever seen nuggets so big for aquamarine. They almost look like they're moist. There is a beautiful shine on them that looks like moist. That's the best way I can describe it. Can you see them glow? Oh, they are beautiful, aren't they? Irregular nuggets. So, you know, they kind of got that edginess. And again, what I'm tempted to put in with them is the angularity of those flat squares that we've got coming up in my bundle. Yeah, just you think about 3 of those in between instead of the temporary crimp, as it were, or the tube. See, that would be a happening bracelet. Would you agree? Or am I just, you know, on a journey on my own here? You know, work, I really do. This is my collector's choice. Look at the size of those nuggets of aquamarine, graduated from 13 by 7 up to 25 by 8. 240 carats. Oh, I mean, get sunlight running through it, get daylight, the blues of, you know, the cold, brisk mornings, but when you get that, you know, that winter sun, going through your aquamarine, the ice blue, I mean, it's ice blue, isn't it? Crisp ice, frozen Arctic blue. That's what it looks like in these nuggets. TMRU30. Beautiful. Such texture, such luster. $9.95, that's crazy talk. Can I have a giant nugget, please, of aquamarine? I'll give you a squiddly for it. These would make, I haven't just said that, great gents cufflinks. Because they, you know, either wrist there, they're not next to each other, and that's what I like, the edginess. You see there's 2 there, almost the same size. With your toggles, you got some toggles in the Kumihimo kit. TMRU30, $9.95. Gosh, 3, 6, 9, 12. There's 18 on there. Well, 15, sorry, on average. Is it time to do the mega bundle? Let's do it. Let's get all our graphics up for the mega bundle. I've had loads of texts and questions about it. Here it is, and it is mega. Here's my magnesite. Big rounds. Here is, in fact, let me give you the carat weight. That is my 310 carats of my white magnesite 10mm rounds. These are sumptuous 315 carats, sorry, clanking about, of my black rich onyx, 30cm strand. 45 carats of my absolute flawless clear corner drilled white quartz. 160 carats of the irregular faceted pyrite cubes that I held up with those gorgeous lapises earlier. Then we've got the steel color coated pyrite that I am obsessed with today, that we've just seen with those aquamarines. So different, cut into the flat squares as it were, but a more of a silvery stainless steel color in the pyrites there. White magnesite we've got already, clear crackle quartz, 50 carats, corner drilled, frosted shell, black frosted, oh sorry, no, it's agate, frosted agate rounds, forgive me. And they are 8mm. And then here is my marquise shell, as it were, that's what I'm on about. Puffy coins, puffy marquises, I should say. And if you look at those, you see, got the dark, the yin and the yang. Oh, look at those colours, the rainbow colours. So beautiful, aren't they? It's a party ready to happen. It's some fantastic strands there. Frosted agate. I mean, I'm obsessed with those centre drilled steel colour coated pyrite plain irregular squares. 75 carats. Over £50. In fact, £53, £52.90 for all of these magnificent strands to buy separately from our website. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've bundled this incredible monochromatic, sensational party selection, whether you want to use them together because they do work magnificently together or separately, but rather than £53 today, first come first served, £34.95, so at £18 saving, £18 saving. And I hope you like our choice because they go stunningly together. They're ones that you'll use over and with so much anyway. I've been picking them up throughout because they go with so much that we've had throughout. For instance, the lapis, that the quartz just goes with everything. The black, there's something for everybody in there. The marquise shell there with the amazonites. You know, you've had the Botswana there with the pyrites. There's just been so much. So we should be talking £52.90, £34.95. So I'm rounding up 53 down to 35. MSGC 82, but that's only for the next 10 minutes. So 5 o'clock, back to £53. Getting limited, and I've got to visit Sara and the Sari Sara and her creations. So please don't miss out. We'll try and regroup on those codes for the Sari Sara collections as well, because I know you're loving the colours I'm showing you. Getting limited. I'll bring these with me because I don't want to part from the beautifulness. And I'll bring me Sari silks as well. I'll have some gin on the way. I know you won't begrudge me a bit of gin.
No, definitely not.
Absolutely not. You would never begrudge a girl a bit of gin. So we'll keep that code up, but it's already limited. How beautiful are these strands, Sarah?
Oh, amazing.
Aren't they beautiful?
Loved every
Look at those. Oh. Look at that for gorgeousness.
Oh my goodness. Right, just don't look.
See ya.
Bye.
Right, my sweet. Oh my word. Now the amethyst was your first designer choice.
It was.
Well, actually, pre-show, she'd already snaffled a Sari silk, which was the sea blue
I'll give you the
and
pink one. There we go. There's
the pretty candy pink there. Thank you, darling.
Still on its spool a bit.
And the handy tip there was to rewind into a ball. That's at the bottom of my screen for the sea blue and the candy pink. EZGC42, my sumptuous Sari collection, $9.95 at the bottom of the screen. And I'll move those out of the way now so we can see what you've made. Oh, let's start with the gorgeous necklace. Now, is this the weave we learned earlier or
No. This is 3 strands of the Sari silk crocheted and then plaited.
And the amethyst on your chain, and of course you chose that beautiful silver pendant. How gorgeous is that, everybody? Isn't that beautiful? And then we've got silver chain with the amethyst, because I know you love your amethyst.
I just had to do something really simple just to show how just very pretty they are.
How
and
pretty
that's
they
something
are.
I would wear every day of the week.
Yeah, we won't see those again. And then, now, again, just how you can incorporate the gems.
Yes, yeah, and I just thought, put the amethyst against the blue, and it just works so beautifully.
And that's the amethyst at the bottom of the screen there. And what wire gauge have you used there, sweetie?
That's the 0.6.
0.6, so it goes through the amethyst.
That's what I had from the kit,
of course.
Before. Yeah.
And again, I like this.
Yeah, and I found on my roll I had some really textural pieces of the Sari silk. It was just what happened to be at the end.
That's beautiful.
It was really, really sort of a heavier gauge almost.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say.
That's just using some knots and taking the amethyst through there. Very simple.
Gorgeous. Now another bundle of the Sari silk we had was my pomegranate and my sunshine. So we'll get the code up for those. I've picked these up a few times. That's at the bottom of the screen now, just to readdress all the codes. XMGC12. Now we got very limited on the actual kit. I'm just going to skip this just for a second. This was the actual kit that Sara started with in our designer. I'm bringing it onto the screen right now. But these were the designs, and this kit not just included the Sari silk, but obviously you had the gold 0.6 wire, you had the cord that we demonstrated with, you had 3 strands of the amethyst and the agate and the sage amethyst, as it were, and that was for $29.95. And I know we got down to less than 40. That was 3 hours ago.
Yes.
So I dread to think, but we did the demonstration with making a Sari bead. I'm sure you'll agree it was beautiful. Both Sari beads there, the round. And we had a customer say, she'd made a wreath out of hers as well, so we asked her to get that up on our website. And then, of course, we learnt the Kumihimo
technique. Yes.
With the
That's
plaiting.
Just the standard Kumihimo
Nice and
braid,
loose.
but it's just looks so different.
And used our amethyst there to create, well, as you said, just to add on little pieces that you've made, dress up, dress down.
Somebody asked how to use leftover beads, wanted to know how to use, if you've got a few beads left over. Those pendants are amazing. You just piece of wire, a few beads, wrap around. You've got a little donut shaped pendant, and you can add it onto a chain, you can add it onto your Sari silk, your Kumihimo, whatever you like, and it just uses up your last few beads.
If you're very posh,
yeah,
they might be your napkin rings. That's
possibly.
If you're very posh.
Oh yes. I'm not that posh.
So $29.95. That was the first designer inspiration kit, WFG C18. We're going to get all these loaded, of course, up onto our Facebook page as well. And we also had the beading framing of the cabochons, and that was our second designer kit. And Sara showed us how to create the lovely satin web, as it were, as well as the actual beading around your cabochon. So this was your cabochon dreams, and it included the rose quartz pendant and the magnesite pendants, which were 80, I think, and 75 carats a piece each. Then you had the 10 cord spools, so that was 50 meters of the satin cord, 5 meters on each spool, and then you had 5 strands of the gemstones, which was 4mm rounds of the rutile quartz, the jadeite, the coloured quartz there, and the actual pink carmine shells, as it were. And again, should have been over £40, but we went to $29.95. Massive savings there, but great techniques. Well, I don't know where the time's gone, Sara. It's just flown out, doesn't it?
It does. It really flies, especially when you've got your designer sort of choice to make as well. It's like, no time left, but I hope I've inspired people.
I know you have. Talking of that, can we get the mega bundle up again before Big Dog Mad Dog joins me? He's ready, waiting in the wings. We'll have a catch up with him in a second. But yes, this was our crackle quartz.
Beautiful.
Oh, I know. And the agate frosted and the clear quartz and those onyxes. Oh.
These are my new favourite shape.
Oh, I love those. I'm obsessed now.
Yes.
The steel coloured pyrite, the marquise shell, and they're just stunning. Where would you start?
Well, because it's monochromatic, it really doesn't matter. You could pick anything up there and it would all work together.
Yeah.
But what I would probably do is I like to mix my textures up. So I would probably pick the bicones, maybe I'd pick these ones, and then I will maybe pick the pyrite to go with them, and then put a round in there as well. And that really just changes all your... because you've got the crackled in there, you've got a bit of light going on, and then you've got different facets, and then you've got a smoothness of a round. And I like all of that going on in my jewellery. So I'd be really tempted to do that. Then again, you see, I love these little, almost like surfboard shapes.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
And I
so
would
much choice.
probably have those dangling off a chain somehow.
Yes, because they just need to
like
display out.
leaves.
Yes, we need to see those. Beautiful. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much
You're
for
very
your hard
welcome.
work. When will we see you again?
Thursday next week.
Thursday
on
next
the day
week.
show.
On the day show. I look forward to it. I will be with you tomorrow. We're going to concentrate on the soutache and beading tomorrow. Big Dog, Mad Dog, what's your speciality tonight, darling? He's gone. I can see there's loads of fantastic strands waiting in the wings. I think there's loads of exciting offers, so please don't. He'll be back in time, don't you worry. He'll be back in time for the show. So enjoy the evening show as well. Roll over that one postage packaging price. I look forward to a bit of soutache magic tomorrow with Linda. And of course in the morning you'll have Jenny as well. I'm not sure who the guest is in the morning, but we'll see you next week.
Thursday.
We'll see you Thursday. Take care. Enjoy the evening with Big Dog, Bad Dog Ed, and I'll see you tomorrow at 1.